Big O, we told you we ain't playing no games, man. It's just surely probably Pablo, Culture, Lord Productions.
Good morning, South Florida.
This is the Big O Show.
You're tuned into the Big O Show.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. Yo, you tuned in to the hottest sports radio show with Orlando, a.k.a. the Big O. He covers all the South Florida teams, from the Dolphins to the Heat, well, you know what I mean. Monday to Friday, Friday Pablo in the Big O Show. Oh, on the radio, the top's where we gonna go. Miami, that's the way we roll. Locked on the morning show, we go. No one has a similar show. Talk sports, talk plays, talk live and direct, because nobody do it better than Big O in the set. From sunrise, listen live, it's the best of the best. He's got the fans, got the heat, he's the best of the best. Big O, the only talking sports with a style. Break it a morning, it's Big O-N. Thank you for tuning in, keeping you glued in. Stay tuned, because right here's where the rumors in. Same place, because right here some of them begin. Simply call and just state your opinion. Real talk, sports talks, the Big O Show. Yeah, you love it, yeah, you like it, call him and let him know. Culture, probably Pablo, now introducing the man of the hour, Big O, a.k.a. Orlando also Gary. Yeah.
Second and 10. Play action, and they've got it. Cam is dumped back at the 38. Just busting across was Baker. 3rd and 2. It's going to be over to Gaskin for the first. Fitzpatrick winding it up and finding Parker again. That pass is caught. Looked like Devin McCourty had it at first.
It's magic. I've said that a million times over the years.
2nd and 5. And there's Breida with his first carry as a Dolphin, and it picks up 6 and a first. Open and caught. Miami trying to get something out of this drive. That ball might have been tipped at the line, but it still goes through. 2nd and 2. And another good piece of running by Gaskin, who's looked impressive in this quarter.
So you're watching empty formation, pressure.
Open. And it's Gaskin.
Watched right there. There's Parker. He's going to look for him. Coming down.
What a tough play that was, and it's caught. Bounces off the hit. It's Grant, and he cuts back upfield to pick up Harry again. He lost the football. It came out of his hands, and it went out of the end zone and out of bounds.
The key, Jim, is going to be whether or not his knee was down before the fumble.
Miami survives that drive.
Wow, and Baker's the one who ran down Cam when he was trying to get there and almost caught him. 2 big-time effort plays. Yes. One of them pays off.
Harry fumbles the ball through the end zone, and Miami's able to take over, stay in it, and completing a pass for about 15. And again, they're without their biggest and best target in Devontae Parker. 4th down. There it is down the field, and he was going for Williams, and he gets the flag. He was begging for it on his back.
They're not going to really let, I mean, if you catch a number.
Defense, number 24.
New England, and it's a big one.
It is big, and it is a penalty. Gilmore's 100% holding that on.
To the 35 off the penalty. Fitzpatrick finds his man. It's his tight end again, Gesicki. 3rd and goal, 1 yard away. Powers in for the Miami touchdown.
Stop someone twice, there's a little feeling like you're like, okay, here's the play action coming. It's like, no, we're going to run it 4 straight times. This would be a running play, otherwise it's going to be tough selling.
Got all kinds of time. Fitzpatrick, can he run for it? Yes, he can.
Yeah, it was a running play the whole time.
Exactly.
He led them in rushing last year. That's a bad word, rushing.
As Fitzpatrick does a great job of stretching out for the first down. Let's see what he can do. 2nd and 5, 2 minutes to go. Now they're down to the 14-yard line.
Where you throw a shot to the end zone and kick the field goal. Take a shot. They're coming after you. Let it go.
To the end zone. And it is intercepted. As J.C. Jackson gets the 3rd New England pick of the day.
It was bad. It was ugly. Oh, what can I tell you? 21-11, the boys go down in flames against the New England Patriots. If you're expecting a lot of fire, a lot of, sacrificial lambs here today, you're probably not going to get it, folks. Remember, I'm the guy that did not panic at 59-10 last year in week 1. I'm the guy that did not panic. You remember they lost to the Patriots 43-0 in week 2? Okay? I mean, we are talking about a team that gave up 102 points in the first 2 weeks of the season. And yes, yesterday it sucked that they lost. It sucked the turnovers. It sucked that they couldn't stop the run. I get it. There's a lot of things. Devontae Parker getting injured. There's a lot of things to be disappointed about overall. But look, in the end, you have to understand, last year they had a completely new team after tearing it down to the bone pretty much. This offseason, they had a hell of a lot more turnover on this roster. And you've got a lot of young guys. And young guys that played well on the offensive line. Brandon Jones played well at safety back there. Myles Gaskins is a kid that they've had here for a couple years now, developing him behind the scenes. And he looked good yesterday. They kept playing him over Breida. And Breida was the guy that we all expected to play. But it's not like Gaskins played bad. Look, man. I get that yesterday I was hoping. I thought myself that they would win with all the turnover that the Patriots had. But unfortunately, the defense wasn't ready for the moment, and they weren't adjusted to everything that went on. And whatever they tried to adjust to throughout the game, in the second, at halftime, in the third, it did not work. And unfortunately, they could not solve the riddle of Cam Newton, okay? I'm not one, and we'll get to the whole Cam stuff in a minute, but it was a tough matchup for them. Yet, they lose by 10. They give up 3 interceptions, okay? They lose Devontae Parker, which really actually hurt that offense in a bad way because they did not have the go-to guy. Preston Williams is not ready for that moment yet. Mike Gesicki's not ready for that moment yet. Isaiah Ford's not ready for that moment, and so on and so forth. You know what I mean? They all, made a catch or two or whatever, but it wasn't like Fitz had a guy that he could definitely depend on. And I know that Parker came in with a little bit of a hammy, and obviously he re-aggravated it in the game, and they took him out. And so now we'll see what happens if he's even able to play against Buffalo, and they've got one hell of a defense. But having said all that, they still had opportunities. They cut it to 3 after they got the 2-point conversion. You know what I mean? So they played a really crappy game, and we're still in it. And to me, that's the way I'm going to look at it, because I know that eventually everybody will start playing better, because that's what happens under this coach. That's what happened last year. He got a whole bunch of new guys. He's playing a bunch of new guys. Now he's adjusting. Now he's got to figure out who's who and where one guy belongs and where another guy doesn't. And the other thing that, again, this will be a bunch of excuses. Your first game is a physical game where you got to tackle a lot, and you have not tackled at all. You didn't have a preseason. You didn't have a real training camp. None of that stuff. They don't do the inside drills like they used to when I was on the beat. They don't do any of that stuff nowadays. Okay? And in this offseason, they did even less. So this was a really hard game for them. In hindsight, when I was looking at the game, I was going, damn, this is a bitch of a game to start off with, because you've got to tackle a 6'5" mammoth human being, running the ball, and it becomes a challenge for the Dolphins, and clearly it was, okay? And so I could sit here and I can overreact and go crazy, and I did not last year when they were trashed in the first 2 games, I'm not going to sit here now and start trashing this team now at this point when I know that I'm going to give them a chance to get better. I'm not going to overreact on one game. It doesn't make any sense in my book. There's 15 more to go. And last year, they started 0-7 and found their way and went 5-4 in the last 9 games. I expect Brian Flores to find his way a lot faster this year than last year. Okay? And listen, it starts with the offensive line. Those guys didn't give up a sack till late in the fourth quarter, man. Fitz had time. He was clean back there. That's good. And let me give you another positive on this. Remember what I've said all offseason. I want to give this kid some time till November, so it's a year, and he's had time to heal. He's had time to practice, time to have, soreness, all that stuff, get it out of the way. You know what I'm saying? And this is really good that the offensive line played well in week 1 because you need the offensive line to play well in order to play Tua. So don't overlook that. I know there's some of you already clamoring for Tua, and that's just pure stupidity right now. We're not doing that on this show, okay? But I will tell you this. If Tua is to play when Miami is no longer mathematically eligible for the playoffs or Fitz is struggling badly, it's nice to know that the offensive line is playing well and that Tua will get behind a couple guys that can actually block. You know what I mean? They weren't perfect. They still have to, run the ball, although both running backs average 4.4 yards per carry. Okay? If you look at the stats, I know it's like 3.6. I think I got to look it up or something.
I think it was 3.2, actually.
3.2.
Yeah.
Right. But the 2 running backs average 4.4. Yes. Okay? That's because of the quarterback and whatever,
Sacks go against you.
Yeah, but it was only 1 sack. So it wasn't like a lot. So but my point is that the running backs did play well, actually. When they ran the ball at a nice clip. Now, are they dominant line or anything? No, but it was a nice start, at least. I mean, listen, if we're going to slam people for their bad play, then let's also compliment people when they do well. You know what I mean? It's really important. And so kudos to the offensive line overall. They weren't perfect. There were a couple penalties, but still, it was a good outing by the offensive line. I was happy with that overall. And the other thing that when Devontae went out, the one thing that really hurt them was they were going up against a good secondary. While they've been depleted at linebacker, I don't think they have great pass rushers, but they do have a good secondary. And the secondary, that's where you were really missing Devontae Parker, because Devontae Parker is the one guy that's going to suck in that safety. And that did not allow, and nobody else was going to command that kind of attention out there at the wide receiving core, which then opens it up for everybody else because now they've got more one-on-one matchups. That did not happen once Parker went out. They did not have to use anybody. They didn't have to double anybody, or the safety did not have to be really over-concerned with somebody out there. They felt like their guys could handle most of these guys one-on-one, and they were right. You know what I mean? So that's going to be something to look at, the effects of not having Devontae Parker there. And the flip side to all of this with Devontae Parker is we got to hope that the Devontae Parker from the first 4 years doesn't show up anymore, right? Because the Devontae Parker from the first 4 years started the season. And so let's hope that this is an aberration. Let's hope he can, and if he does have a hamstring problem, I hope that they give him the proper time to heal up because he is injury prone. And so that's going to be something to look at. If Parker can't do what he did last year, where he was on the field the entire season. So very, very, very important moment right now in the season on how they handle Devontae Parker. And I hope that they're able to handle it the right way so you have him for the whole season. That would be very, very important. Let's hear from the head coach, Brian Flores, yesterday after he addressed the media in the loss. And let's go over some of his comments here. All right, go ahead, Bill. Fire off the comments from the head coach, Brian Flores. Nope, that's not it. I'm not hearing anything right now. All right, let's. He'll get this lined up, and then we'll get it going. Appreciate all of you, by the way, that are watching and tuning in and downloading the show all weekend long, all throughout the week. I really appreciate that. All right, go ahead. Ready?
Flo, I wanted to ask your thoughts on how Ryan Fitzpatrick played today.
We had some spurts there where we're moving the ball, but obviously with the turnovers, those are huge. I mean, we talk about that, a lot as a team. It's tough to win when you turn the ball over, but I did think he had put some drives together. We only finished the one, but just too many turnovers at the end of the day.
Armando?
Coach, they ran for over 200 yards. What did you think of your run defense and the ability to stop Cam Newton running the football?
We got to do a better job run defense. Obviously, the quarterback was an issue. We got to do a better job.
Omar?
Wanted to ask you, we saw a lot of Myles Gaskin today. Was that the game plan? Was that because Jordan Howard was injured, or what was it just the plan to play him over Matt today?
Myles has practiced well. There's a rotation there at the running back with Howard, Matt. Laird got a few snaps as well. He had a couple good runs, some good plays in the passing game as well. So we left him in there.
Let me address that a second there. And I understand that the first thing you want to do, because we're kind of used to it for the last 20 years, is pile on, right? Because a lot of the crap that went on. Myles Gaskin's played well, okay? They've done a nice job of coaching the kid up, developing him, finding him in the draft. Matt Breida, obviously a free agent, and they signed him along with Howard. And I get all of that, but I love the fact that he said that there's a rotation, because you need a lot of guys to get through a season. And if you think you're going to get through the season with just Breida and Howard, and they're both going to stay healthy, man, I hope so. I mean, I pray the same thing. I pray Devontae Parker stays healthy every day and every week of the season. But I love the fact that Gaskins played well yesterday. I don't blame – the loss has nothing to do with you not playing Breida more. I mean, it's not like it's Barry Sanders. Okay? I love the acquisition of Matt Breida. They got him for nothing. A fifth rounder in a trade which was a joke. Okay? I love the pickup. Don't get me wrong. But Myles Gaskins has played well, and he had a really good camp apparently. And so, remember, he's a young player that is developing and so ascending, too. And most of these young guys, they don't play nearly as well at the beginning as when they are in football for a little while. They develop their bodies, they develop their minds, and maybe that's what's going on with Gaskins. Hey, that little catch and run he had to the outside, that was the balance he showed on that. That's special, okay? That was nice. And I don't know if anybody else makes that play, but he made it right there in that moment. So don't look at it as a negative. Look at it as a positive. Matt Breida can play. Howard's going to be a good power runner for you. If you add Myles Gaskins, plus we saw my boy Patrick Laird catch some passes too. I love this. I think it's a positive for the Dolphins. Don't be so quick to look for the negative. Be more objective and look at what they're doing. They're trying to develop a football team. And when you game plan for the Dolphins, you're not just game planning for Matt Breida now. You're also game planning for Myles Gaskins and Patrick Laird and Howard. You understand what I'm saying? So it becomes you become a much better football team when you're able. And remember where he comes from. He comes from New England, where he saw the dude that he worked for have multiple backs too and use them in multiple ways. And that's what he's doing here, or at least that's what they're trying to do here, is develop a stable of running backs. So don't be too quick to look at the negative of, well, maybe they should have played Breida more. We don't know if it would have made a difference or not. Nobody knows. Again, it's not like, well, you kept Alvin Kamara on the bench. Well, you kept Ezekiel Elliott on the bench. Let's not make Breida those kind of guys, okay? Give Myles Gaskins his credit and his due. Kid played well. When you gave him the ball, he did his job, okay? And I think the coach is doing his job also by developing multiple people at that position. Go ahead, Bill.
Flo, what can you say about Jerome Baker's day? You know, he had to stop at the goal line with N'Keal Harry, also had the collision with Cam Newton for the touchdown, and then the penalty with Edelman on that final drive there. You know, what can you say about his kind of up and down day?
Yeah, I mean, it's a team game. It's not one guy. It's not just Jerome or Fitz. You know, we've got to do a better job as a unit, as a team, offensively, defensively, in the kicking game. We didn't do enough to win today, and we've got to do a better job. So we'll go back, learn from the tape. We'll meet on this tomorrow, and then close the book on this one and move on to the next opponent.
Yeah.
Well, without the benefit of being able to review the game on tape, it seemed like the offensive line held up fairly well. What was your assessment from field level?
Yeah, I thought, from a protection standpoint, we were okay. We had the one sack late in the game, but other than that, it looked like we were able to protect. We had time in the pocket. It's a good rush, good secondary. But again, that part of it, it's a team game, so you can play well in one phase and not play well in enough phases and not enough, not good enough.
Josh?
Hey, Flo, what were your first impressions of Brandon Jones? You slotted in here in that first drive. I thought he had an up and down game without reviewing the film. Again, he's practiced well. We stuck him in there. I thought he made a couple good tackles in the open field. Did a good job in the kicking game from what I saw. But we'll go back and learn from the tape. Again, he's a rookie. This is his first NFL game, so he'll learn from it just like all the other rookies.
Hyde.
Yeah, Coach, just curious. Yeah, you mentioned Cam Newton's running. How much of their 217 yards do you think was based on that, and how much was just out muscling?
I mean, it was based on a lot of things. Bad technique. Bad tackling. We got to clean up a lot of things in the run game, which obviously that'll be a focus, this week.
Cam?
Hey, Flo, do you have a status update on Devontae Parker? We saw him leave and not come back.
Yeah, I mean, he's in there. We'll take a look at him over the course of the week. I don't have a status update right now, but obviously he didn't return, so we'll see what that looks like, tomorrow and in the coming days.
Adam?
I wanted to ask you about that last drive. Did you consider kicking a field goal earlier in it, or was it all along you were going to go for the touchdown? And also, do you think that Gesicki was interfered with on that last throw?
Yeah, we were obviously trying to score a touchdown. If we didn't pick up the last one, we would have kicked the field goal. Unfortunately, the ball was picked off. Whether they made the call, I mean, it's not much we can do. We just got to live with the calls that are made. Or
terrible calls.
Soften.
What was your view on the field of Preston Williams on those two interceptions from Fitz in the first half? Like one where he kind of lost his footing, at least one of them, and one where he was jammed up by Gilmore. What did you see there on those plays?
Yeah, I mean, I got to go back and watch the film. I mean, all I see is all I have is the tablets. I didn't look up for that to replay. We were just kind of moving on to, the defensive side of the ball. I mean, I'll be able to tell you that probably more tomorrow.
Joe?
How did Xavier look to you? And it's obviously it seemed as though there was a rep range that you guys wanted to stay within. Is that right?
Again,
I'm not going to be able to say how he looked until, I watched the tape. But yeah, we wanted to, obviously coming off of the injury, no preseason, no games, just wanted to get the three guys in there along with Perry. So I think we got that accomplished, and I'll have a better evaluation, once I watch the tape.
We got time for one more, Ruthie.
Flo, with that, you just kind of touched on it, but without the benefit of having the preseason, I'm curious of your evaluation of the, kind of the first time these guys got to live tackle and their conditioning from that standpoint.
Well, I thought, overall the tackling could have been better. The conditioning could have been better. Obviously, without, we're not going to make any excuses on whether we had preseason games. They didn't have any preseason games either. But all things we can improve on. We can improve the tackling. We can improve the run defense. We can improve the conditioning. We'll work on those things over the course of the week, and we got a tough opponent next week, and we'll get back to it.
He, the coach, when he was talking about some of the calls, and especially the one in the end zone. Listen, I could. First of all, let's talk a little bit about Fitz. I think it's gotten out of control, the slamming of Fitz after yesterday. You're lazy if you just look at the 3 interceptions and say he played a terrible game. He threw 3 interceptions. He threw 1 interception. The second one was a freaking terrible interception. He did not see the DB sitting in the zone, and he got fooled completely, and that's it. It's over. That's all on Fitz. The first one, Preston Williams fell. He's fighting for positioning, and his ass falls down. And what's the name of Samuel? Is it no, not Samuel? What's the name of the DB?
Was it Gilmore?
Gilmore
On the first one, he pushed him. He kind of pushed him down, though.
Well, you're fighting for position. You're a big kid. Let's go, bro.
Yeah, but you were 10, 11, 12 yards. You're not supposed to. The defender is not to touch after 5.
Yeah.
There was more mugging going on than back in the day bump and run.
Yeah.
Because when the ball's in the air back in the day, you weren't allowed to touch him anymore. Bro, the ball was in the air, and they were mugging our guys.
On the Williams DB, the DB from New England, he had a forearm push on that one.
Yes.
And then the Gesicki one, they were holding his ass. They took Gesicki out of the play.
The guy went up under his arms and just basically bear hugged, ran right into him and hugged him.
Completely. So Gesicki never had a shot. They took him out of the play. That's why the other DB ended up getting it. I don't blame Fitz for 2 of the 3 interceptions. So, you could sit there lazily and say, oh, no, he was terrible. No, he wasn't. Now, he wasn't great, but the other guys weren't great either. They did not step up at times. They didn't get separation. They didn't get open. You know what I mean? So I have to blame everybody there. Things almost falling. Coming apart.
Oh, dude, that's a bad sign.
Yeah.
We're about to get into some major games. We don't need any heat falling.
Anyway, so I look at that, and to me, I just think sometimes people complain to complain. You know what I mean? It's and you just look at the stats. Oh, well, the 3 interceptions. Oh, he sucked. Or if you just lazily watched the game, you didn't really pay attention. I can't blame him for 2 of those 3 interceptions. Okay, if it was all 3 on him, then I tell you it was all on him. But it wasn't, unfortunately. That's why when I look at this game and the mistakes that were, Jerome Baker had a hell of a game with 16 tackles, right? A lot of them downfield. All right, let's go. Because they're running on your ass. They're gaining all these yards. You're not getting any tackles behind the line of scrimmage. Everybody's making tackles way past the line of scrimmage. But in Baker's case, the hit he got on Cam? Well, he got that hit on Cam because he was late on that play. He was supposed to be there earlier to help seal the end, and he wasn't. And he reacted late, and then he had to get there, and then that's when it ends up with the hit on Cam. And whether he scores or not, and I don't care about that. That to me doesn't really matter when it's all said and done. He had the 2 penalties also that were bad. He had some moments, man. I mean, forcing the fumble he was late on that play.
Intentional. He grabbed those arms and ripped to have the ball come out, man.
But he was late on that play.
Yes, he was.
That's
why he's tackling behind him.
You know what Jerome Baker did on that play when he fumbled? Those of you that are not old enough, I apologize, but he Chuck Carr'd the thing. Now, Chucky Carr was a center fielder for the Marlins. Chucky Carr did not read the ball very well, okay? But he was so freaking fast and athletic that even when he broke late on the ball, he would still sometimes get to it, but he would have to make this spectacular catch. And some people would go, wow, what an amazing catch. And yeah, it was an amazing catch, but he forced himself into an amazing catch because he read it wrong, he made a wrong play, and then he had to make up for it, and he would make up for it in just, Chucky Carr fashion. And that's what Jerome Baker did on that strip play. He was late on a play where he was supposed to be and then had to make up for it, and he Chucky Carr'd it. Okay? He played well yesterday. He had a whole bunch of tackles, but nobody was making a bunch of tackles behind the line of scrimmage. Nobody was tackling people with a yard or two right after the line of scrimmage. You know what I'm saying? So everybody that had tackles yesterday, they were making them, a couple yards
The weakest
downfield.
area of our game was our run defense.
Yeah, no, it was bad.
That was number one weakness.
It was bad.
Of the day.
It was bad. It was bad. There's no way around it. But that's what game one is all about. And so now we have to give the coach, we have to give the players an opportunity to adjust to all of this. Okay? And then maybe the next time they face the Patriots, Cam won't be nearly as successful. And the screwed up part is we know it was predictable by Cam and the Patriots. Like you knew they were going to run the hell out of the ball. The man threw for 155 yards? Yeah, 15 of 19, 155 yards, no touchdowns. His touchdowns were both on the ground. So you knew it was coming, and yet you couldn't stop it. Okay, because you knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. The Dolphins players knew it was coming. The coaches knew it was coming. They prepared for it. They just couldn't get it done.
He completed as many passes as he had rushes, 15.
Yeah. And so, but again, it's just to overreact on a 10-point loss when you made all the mistakes that you made in that game and you still cut it to 3 at one moment. I'm not going to overreact, my brother. I can't. Last year, I saw a team that lost 59-10. And then the following week to these Patriots, not the same team, but still 43-0. You give up 102 points in 2 weeks. Now that's concern. And yet, having said all that, if you all remember the show last year at this time, I was not freaking out about it.
Amazingly enough, you weren't. No.
No. And then in week 3, we started to see progress. And I started to point out that progress and how it got better and better. Even though they were losing, I kept pointing out the progress. Okay.
Dallas week 3. And then at halftime, we made adjustments,
Exactly.
man. From there, you could see we would spot a team 15, 17 minutes the first beginning of the game. But after that, adjustments made.
Right.
And played even.
So to think that, you were going to pick up from week 17 after you made all those changes and no offseason, and all of a sudden you're just going to, it's not the case. But we do have to at least give the coach and the players the benefit of the doubt that they can improve from what they did yesterday. Because so far, that's been Brian Flores' track record. Okay? And not everything, I thought Wilkins had his moments too. I like what I saw from Wilkins on the D line. The young offensive lineman I thought did a really good job overall. Myles Gaskins did well. Byron Jones did well. It wasn't like they were burning our secondary left and right. They did their damage in the middle of the field. They did their damage up the middle in the run game. You know what I mean? It's just one of those deals. So it wasn't – I can't sit here and, oh, my God, I'm on suicide watch now or something. I'm not doing that. after a 10-point loss on the road. They made all the big mistakes, and they still had a shot in that game, cutting it to 3. I'm not doing that, man. I know that, put it this way, they were a lot farther away, 102-10 in the first 2 weeks than they are right now at 21-11.
That's exactly what I was going to point out. Look, the only area that guys had worked really together were Fitz with Gesicki, Williams, and Devontae Parker. Everywhere else on our team, 2 new backs, 4 new offensive linemen. Our defensive line new, linebackers new. Our secondary, them guys didn't play together.
No.
We had rookies and practice squad guys the last 6 games. None of our units, except for receivers and quarterback, had worked together. It's all new, man. And you look at the performance we had compared to last week, and then, like you said, you factor in the lack of camp, lack of preseason. Wow, we did really well yesterday when you factor all that in.
All right, let's do this. Do want to tell you about EJD Construction. Call them right now, 305-433-4843. Eric does some great work, man. I've been dealing with Eric for a long, long time, folks. Call him 305-433-4843. Several of our listeners already have called, and whether it's a home edition, I actually gave one listener of ours an idea on the man cave stuff because we're staying home a lot more. We're not going out to many. So this one of our listeners actually called Eric and said, hey, I got to improve my man cave. So I don't know exactly what he's doing in the man cave, but apparently that's what I'm told, that one of our listeners is doing that. So call Eric, man. I'm telling you, whether you need an addition to your home, you need an extra room because maybe you have a family member that moved in. COVID, families are contracting now, and they're kind of moving together again and getting back because some people have to sell their homes and their condos. 305-433-4843. You can see their work firsthand. Go to the Instagram page at EJD_construction, and you can see a lot of the before and after pictures, and you'll be impressed. Again, tell them that Big O sent you. Eric will take care of you. 305-433-4843, EJDconstruction.com.
It's a buyer's market at Toyota of Hollywood. Over 1,500 Toyotas on the ground, and truckloads just keep on coming. Now pay up to 50% less. 2020 Camry, not $29,000, $17,775. 2020 Corolla, not $22,000, $13,775. Buy a new 2020 Toyota with 0 down and 0% financing, or we'll make your payments till 2021. At Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com, a travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
America's premium sports sedan is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. TLX, $259 a month, $259 at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer. America's premium sport compact sedan is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. 2020 ILX, $199 a month, $199 at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
All right, we are back. We're back. We take you, of course, till I have no idea when we'll take you till. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things. You know how it is on this show. We start, and then we stop whenever the hell we feel like stopping on this show.
I know what time you're going to stop.
That time.
About that time, man.
About that time. That's what it's all
That's
about.
a good time.
Let me do a little roll call here first and foremost. Let's see what we got. Julius 305 is the first person in the house. And Julius, by the way, I want you to know that I've already gotten to the point with my keychain that thing you gave me, I'm using it all the time now. Like at first, you forget you have it in your keychain, and so when you get to an elevator or you got to hit some kind of a keyboard or whatever, you forget, right? And you got to, like, for me, I've been finding napkins.
It's not an automatic reaction. You actually have to physically think,
right,
I got to grab this.
Right. So normally what I would do is either grab a napkin and then use the napkin or the bottom of my shirt. And I tap whatever I have to tap, you know?
Because of you, I've started doing that. I do.
Yeah. And so now your thing that you gave me, that contraption that I have on my keychain, now it's like automatic, dude. Now I'm like, now it's already habit now. So it took me a little bit, but I got it going. Thank you, my brother. Appreciate you looking out. John Santos in the house, Gus 1388, Clifton. There's a lot of you today, man. Anthony Gianledetti says, Big O, it's overreaction Monday. I told Miami fans not to overreact to a 10-point loss to New England, and I was told I like to lose. Yeah. You know, here's the thing that's going on with Dolphin fans, and it drives me, a little crazy because it's ignorance. Well, we've been losing like this for 25 years, oh. What, are you satisfied with this? I'm like, I'm sorry, last time I checked, has Flores and Greer been in charge for 25 years? Oh, no, but, see, I've learned that you're not going to be able to argue with certain people. You can't have the discussion with them because they're just going to be closed-minded. When I told one guy that yesterday, oh, well, no, that doesn't matter. And I go, no, yeah, it does matter. They tore it all the way down to a bone last season. Okay, this is a true rebuild from the scratch. You expect them that in year 2 of game 1, everything's going to be changed? Well, no, they should be better. And well, give them some time to prove it. What are you supposed to win all your games? It's like the people that complain about the Josh Rosen pick. Well, that's a wasted pick. No. That was an extra pick that they made, idiot. Okay? Their pick is Raekwon Davis. They just delayed it for a year. That's all. And if Raekwon Davis balls, you still got your second rounder. But I'd rather have a team that takes a shot at a quarterback every year than a team that doesn't. I'm sorry. And last time I checked, are you supposed to hit on all your quarterbacks? So it's just complaining to complain. And I get it that it's been a brutal 20 years. I'm the first guy to tell you. Dude, how many of you Dolphin fans are pissed at me the last 20 years because I was always ripping them? Oh, you're Mr. Negative. No, I'm not. I'm just being objective. I'm being honest. And by the way, I was never wrong. The last 20 years, I was never wrong on how bad the fish were. I could be wrong on a predicting of a game, a win, a loss, whatever. I mean, anybody. But overall on the Dolphins, dude, dead on target we've been for 20 years. And last year, when everybody was pointing fingers and when everybody was saying they're tanking, I tried to talk everybody off the ledge and explain to them football-wise what they were doing that it had nothing to do with tanking. And sure enough, now all the idiots that were saying tanking, they kind of realize, oh, no, actually, they were trying to win with young people. And so I'm not going to go crazy here because they lost and then tie this to Dave Wanstead and tie this to Cam Cameron and tie this to Sperano and tie this to Philbin and tie this to – no, I'm not doing that, dude. I'm sorry, I'm not doing that. I'm not tying this to Adam Gase. I told you guys this over and over and over and over again for months now. Turn the page already, dude. Be Bob Seger. Turn the page. Forget about the last 20 years. Start fresh. Think about last year to this year, and that's it. Measure the progress from game 1 of last year to this year. And if I tell you this, and I know it's still a loss, but would you rather lose 59-10, where you had no shot, you were thoroughly embarrassed, or would you rather lose 21-11 in a game that late in the game you cut it down to 3, and with all the mistakes you made, you still had a shot to win? I'll take the latter. And I'll roll the dice that Brian Flores and company will make this team better as the year goes on. But I'm not going to overreact in week 1 when I didn't overreact last year after the first 2 games, and everybody wanted to throw everybody overboard. Everybody, Chris Greer, Brian Flores, they all suck. Get them out of here. So I'm not doing that this year. I didn't do it last year, and I look at progress even in this week compared to last year. A team that had all this turnover and no offseason and no training camp and no preseason, and they were pretty competitive to a certain extent, and they gave themselves not let's not call it pretty competitive. Let's say they gave themselves an opportunity towards the end of the game. I can't really ask for more than that right now. Now, what I hope for is improvement as the year goes on. And we'll find out. We will. And let me tell you something. I know Cam Newton played well yesterday, but I'm going to tell you, I know how this story ends. And it ends painful, and it ends on the IR, and it ends worn down, and it ends concussed. Not that I wish it on him, but that's just, if he wants to play this game, you go ahead. I don't care how big and how strong you are. The league has broken you down once and will break you down again. Okay? You can't win like this on a long-term basis. You must learn to pass. Okay? It's the same thing with Lamar Jackson, who had a fantastic day yesterday, right? But he ran the ball. Where is his stats here that I have? He ran the ball yesterday only 7 times. Now, luckily, it was the Browns, and they were leading by a ton. If he starts running in the double digits, to me, I think eventually it's going to end up happening. And they're going to break him in half, too. If they break Cam Newton in half, they will break him in half. Kyler Murray can pass. He's got accuracy. Now, he's small. That's the one thing I've always worried about Murray. Can he take hits? And he hasn't taken any hits yet. And he ran like crazy yesterday in a fantastic game. He ran 13 times. Scary stuff. But he can pass. He's a way better passer than Cam and Lamar Jackson. Way better. It's not even close. Kyler Murray can make a living from the pocket passing the ball. Lamar Jackson cannot, and neither can Cam Newton. They must run. And in my book, eventually that ends only one way. Okay? Luckily, it hasn't happened yet for Lamar. It will happen. If he doesn't learn to stay in that pocket and stop running, and in the games where he's going to need to run more, it's not going to be fun for him. You'll see. Eventually it'll happen because I've seen it happen to everybody that runs the ball. And that Cam Newton story is nice today. It's really nice today. And everybody's singing the praises and all that. I'm not buying this whatsoever. Okay? He's still not good enough as a passer to get it done. And physically, I can't see him holding up the way you need. So, again, everybody wants to praise him for 15 of 19, 155 yards, 15 rushes, 75 yards, 2 touchdowns. I saw some of those hits he took, like the Jerome Baker one, in the pile, down on the floor. This eventually ends up only one way. As big and as strong as he is, he's going to break down. It's too dangerous in this league for a quarterback to live on their legs. If they can't beat you with the arm, they are going to eventually die. So my suggestion is, for the Patriot fans, enjoy it while it lasts, because Cam Newton will break down eventually. Just like Lamar Jackson, eventually somebody's going to break him in half. We'll see. It'll be interesting. 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the program. Robert Rosario says, Big O, good afternoon. What did you see from last game? Please help us blind-ass fans. Well, I think I've been explaining that for a while. NorCal, for a team that seemed very disciplined last year, they committed a few bad penalties this week. They did. Game one, man. I'm not going crazy on game one. Man, I wish we could have planned for Cam better. I think they planned, Kelvin, I think they planned. I just think the players didn't execute. That's all. I'm sure that they planned for it. I'm sure they were coached up for it. It's just the players sucked at executing. You know?
Tackling. Poor. It was really bad.
Yeah, that's not.
I said to you, I hope that the defense does nothing but here's a practice dummy, make a line, and have 5 lines just tackling dummies, bro. Bad.
Well, I'm sure they will be, working on tackling a lot this week. Something tells me. Lewis Bryant says the ATL is checking in. Michael Pulisic says, what pisses me off is Cam wasn't even good. He was hobbling forward, no juking, nothing, and they still couldn't stop it. Imagine what Josh Allen will do on the ground. I mean, again, I'm not going to completely freak out on it. It's game one, dude. It's game one, bro. You know what I mean? Let's see. What else do we have here? We have our first super chat in, and it is Myron. Myron says, great weekend for football. My Niners are not winning anything with Jimmy G. And your Dolphin fans need to relax. Patriots won because Ryan Fitz 3 interceptions. Yeah, I only count 1 on him. I don't want to blame all 3 on him. And again, with your Niners, I would not give up that early either. Give us some time too. It's only week 1, man. Tom Brady threw 2 interceptions. He's got a great offense around him. It's just, hey, Baker Mayfield, I don't buy. What's it called? Sam Darnold and Gase, I don't buy. I haven't bought that. There's certain things I could tell you I don't buy, but I'm not ready. If I'm a Niners fan, I'm not ready to give up on Jimmy G. But I know, Myron, you're not big on Jimmy G as it is. So I get he's got to win you over a little bit more. Let's see. Tremolio says Parker had 5 months of pandemic to get into the best shape of his life, and dude nurses a hamstring, and all call and game 1 is effing crap. Yeah. Well, let's see if they can get better, my man. Let's see what else. That last interception was a pass interference, no call, of course, since they were playing New England. Shaking my head. No, I'm with you. And the other play by the DB Williams also, there was a forearm there, dude. Let's see. Oh, do you think if Fitz keeps playing this way, Tua will play sooner because of Fitz' bad play? Yeah, sure. But again, he's not as bad as you made him out to be. I only think one of the interceptions was his fault. The other 2, I don't blame him for them. You know what I mean? Rookie Brandon Jones had 34 snaps and something like 10 tackles downfield. Yes, but he lives in the defensive backfield. Oh, he did good, man. I like what I saw from the kid. Big O, was Gesicki not covered, though? Was that not 2 Patriots there when he threw the ball, even if the play Williams? Yeah, but if Gesicki's there, at least maybe he can get a hand on a deflection, maybe catch it. Maybe he jumps higher than the rest of the guys. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen, but
the defender
I know this. I know this. If you're holding the guy, our guy, and he has no shot at the play, so I can't. You know what I mean?
The guy in front of him had his back to him.
Yeah.
His chest goes to Gesicki's chest. So if Gesicki gets his hands around, because the guy's not even looking back at the ball, and he tackles him basically. So if he threads it in between, Gesicki can make the play because the front defender's not even looking at the ball.
And maybe it just lands on the ground at least. Kenneth Cleveland chiming in with a super chat. Good morning, Big O, the Boom Boom Room VIP list. Tua getting some hip rehab, and Hallie, Selma, and Sophia. Like it. I like it. Lisa Rose says, I see the progress you're talking about from last year to this. I get we still have a lot of growing to do, but did you feel a lack of urgency or confusion on that last offensive series? Yeah, no, they weren't sharp at all, Lisa. To me, that's the amazing part, is that they weren't sharp, and yet they barely lost the game. 10-point game is not the end of the world when they pick up that score at the end to kind of make the difference. I'm with you. They didn't play well. But to panic like we get some Dolphin fans that are, oh, my God, this is going to be a terrible season, and, oh, this is the same as the last 20 years. I'm not going there. I get it. Brady's out. They lost a bunch of players in free agency. We've got a couple of them. They had some defections because of COVID. And so even myself, I thought they would win, right? Even I am guilty of a little blind-ass fan alert, right? I thought they would win last week. I told you guys.
Blind-ass fan alert. Look out, everyone. We've got a blind-ass fan coming through.
We're all guilty.
I was waiting. I was wondering when you were going to throw yourself in the...
Fine. I have no problem. I've said it many times. We're all guilty of being a blind-ass fan. Okay? Our boys weren't ready for the moment.
If you factor where we started last year and where we were by week 3, 4, 5, and you continued to, obviously, the last 9 games, the progress made, where we're starting now at week 1, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're going to be fast track. Within a couple weeks, it'll be a totally different deal.
Yeah. Yeah.
And game situation, there was no preseason. There was none of that. The last drive, you had none of that really. And you can't, we've talked about it, you can't emulate it in practice. So 2-minute drill is tough, man.
Pizza Guy says, it still sucks losing to the Pats. Did we make any adjustments to try to control Cam? All I'm saying is, what a disappointment. And Fitzy with 3 interceptions, can't blame me for acting like a homer. No, I can't blame you. But the Fitzy interceptions, you can't blame him for 3 interceptions. You can't keep saying that. Go look at the 3 interceptions. He's only to blame for 1 of the 3. Okay? Bad luck, terrible play, terrible referees contributed to the other 2. That's all. It's pretty simple. So look, I get it. And they probably made the adjustments. I just think the players didn't execute. If you listen to Flo in the post game, he says, hey, we didn't tackle well. We didn't execute. And so a lot of it, I think Flo was kind of, like we coached them up and they were supposed to be prepared, but they weren't ready for game 1. Hey, look, sometimes a team is, you got Kansas City and you're a Super Bowl caliber team and you're ready to go. You know what I mean? Miami's not a Super Bowl caliber team. They're a young team that is learning how to win. It's not a team that already won. Okay? We're not talking about a playoff team like the Saints. Okay, they are a perennial playoff team. Same coach, same quarterback, a lot of the same people on the team, and they're coming back, and there's continuity. We don't have that luxury here. We don't have the same system here for 20 years. We don't have the same coaches here for 20 years. We don't have the same players here for 3, 4, 5, 6 years. We don't have that luxury here. Okay? So some of these teams this year, in a shortened off season, in a no off season, why do you think when I made my predictions on who was going to win their divisions and win the Super Bowl, did you notice what I did? I picked a lot of the teams that were already established. Same coaches, same quarterbacks, same teams, all that kind of stuff. Why? Did I pick the Bucs to win that division? No, I picked the Saints to win that division. Why did I pick the Saints? Because they have the continuity the Bucs don't. I don't care that they added the best quarterback in the NFL, in NFL history or whatever. The Saints are the better team right now. That's what I went with. So we don't have that luxury here in Miami. We don't have that kind of continuity. We're trying to build that. Okay? That's what's frustrating about the Panthers. They've had continuity for many years now with some of the same players, same core guys, and they can't get it done. That's frustrating. If that was the case here, I would be ripping them like I ripped the Panthers because they deserve to get ripped because the players have been failures. Okay? But I'm not going to do that to the Dolphins because they're brand new. Great example. Bill, what's happened in the first 2 years of the Marlins rebuild?
The first 2 years?
Yes.
We got last year. We got
not a big explanation. What's happened the last 2 years?
We got shortened.
100 plus losses, right?
Yeah.
Asses kicked, right? How's year 3?
It's amazing.
23 and 21, right?
Man, 30-something games, 58 different players, and you're winning.
Okay.
You hold a playoff spot.
So my point is there's a process to this, right? Bam Adebayo in his 3rd year becomes an all-star. You know what I mean? Becomes the guy but he wasn't ready for this stage 2 years ago. If you have the same team and you put him in that position, he's not ready for it. But it took him a couple years. The Marlins organization, they took in 100 losses every year the last 2 years in the first of their rebuild. Now in year 3 is when we're starting to see the fruits of their labor, their pitchers. Yesterday, what was the name of that kid that was with Ryan Anderson? What was his name? I wrote it down. Braxton Garrett. His face yesterday was priceless when Brian Anderson makes that throw from third base to first on that play and get him out. He was like, wow, you made that throw? You made that play? There's no way. And then Sixto, obviously magical, again yesterday. I hope you watched it. If not, I hope you recorded it and then watched it after because that's what I did. And I'm just saying this is a process, ladies and gentlemen. And any Dolphin fan that's overreacting because in year 2 of game 1, we're supposed to fix all our ills. We're supposed to have the perfect players. We're supposed to start off like gangbusters. And we're supposed to be the greatest show on turf on the Rams. And we're supposed to be the no-name defense, on the other side of the ball. Come on, man. There's some growing to do here. That's part of the process. And so we have to give these guys some time to actually develop. The Heat, they've got their players. They're developing those players. They've been developing Duncan Robinson for a couple of years from the minors. You know what I mean? Tyler's the one freak that we got this year, and the kids, you put him in certain positions, and he's kicking ass. But, again, it's kind of a team that it took a couple years to kind of develop this team. And you look at the Marlins, the same thing. Can we have a little patience? And please don't include the Sperano years here. Don't include anything that happened with Adam Gase here. All those players are gone. Pretty much. I think pretty much almost all the players that were with Adam Gase are not here anymore. There might be one or two left. I don't know. Not too many. Jesse Davis. I don't know what else. But there isn't a lot left.
It's equal to
Jakeem
Landry to Jimmy Johnson.
Devontae.
Remember, it was like within 2 years, there was one guy, Leon Lett. That was it.
Yeah, it's only a couple guys that are left. So this is all brand new. We have to give these men time to kind of adjust through all of this. Let me see here on the chat board. Sam Bell says, Matthew Walker, Tennessee Titans are going to kick Miami football's ass this season. Yeah, they are. They're going to kick their ass. All right. Finn 9113 chiming in with a little super chat. Thank you, Finn9113, my brother. Appreciate you. Hey, what are your thoughts on the smaller backs doing better than Howard? Is there anything there? Completely different players. Howard is here to be a power back, short yardage, goal line, those kind of things. Breida, understand what they're doing. They have Patrick Laird's a pass catcher coming out of the backfield. Breida and Gaskins are going to be more of your running backs that can also pass catch. Howard will not be a big part of the passing game, so don't expect that. Don't read into that. You have to understand that the backs they're not going to be married to one guy. They're going to use them all, okay? They're going to want to keep people fresh, and they're going to want to keep people guessing. So don't read into anything is what I would tell you on this one, okay? Everybody's got a role, and that's kind of what it's all about, okay? And I would say Howard and Laird are kind of your specialists. And I would say that Breida and Gaskins are more of your, not bell cows, but you know what I mean, kind of your main backs in a way. And then the other guys will complement those guys in different areas.
Hint for your fantasy team like New England, the Dolphins running backs are not going to be
right.
Flavor of the week.
You're right. Drew Boo chiming in with a little super chat. He says, Alexa V for middle linebacker. Let's go Heat. I love it. I love it. Donald Peterson chimes in with a little super chat. Thank you, Donald, my brother. Appreciate you keeping it locked here.
This little run, did somebody say there's a mini meeting or something?
I get Flipper13 says another positive. How about 20-year-old rookie Austin Jackson, considering this offseason or lack thereof, quite impressive, future looking bright. Yes, and remember, he had to give bone marrow transplant. He didn't have an offseason last year before his last year at USC and didn't miss a game. And now didn't have an offseason and played well in game one. Okay? Nice start. You know, I'm so glad you brought it up, Flipper, because we gave love to the entire offensive line. How about all those whiny little bitches about, you traded Laramie Tunsil. You traded Laramie Tunsil. Well, you just replaced Laramie Tunsil. You just replaced Laramie Tunsil. Right? Because if the kid goes on to play like this for the rest of the year, are you good? Are you fine? Are we good? You know, because I love when people worry about X, and then I tell them the same guy that drafted Bobby McCain, the same guy that drafted X, is the same guy that drafted Noah. Okay? And then also signed Byron Jones. And the secondary did pretty well in the first game, although they weren't facing a great passer. So I'm not, I'm glad they did well, but I don't respect Cam as a passer. I'm sorry, I never have. I think he's an athlete with the ball in his hands. He's going to do some wow things, and then he's going to do some things that are going to, because he's an athlete. I look at Lamar the same way. I don't think Lamar's a great passer. I think he's an awesome athlete. If you watch did you watch the highlights from Baltimore?
Yes, I did.
Okay, did you watch the Mark Andrews catch in the end zone? The big.
The one. Are you talking the one when he went up?
There?
One.
Great catch, right?
Amazing.
That was like a horrible pass.
Oh, yeah. No.
Like he was wide open. Lamar, all he had to do was put it right.
Yeah, just drop it in.
He threw it and he made him Chucky Carr. He made him into Chucky Carr. He didn't have to make him into Chucky Carr. It was like, that's my problem with the kid.
NFL.
And that's who he is. But he's going to get away with it because athletes get away with it. Ryan does the same thing. He's an athlete. They will wow you at times. You know what I mean? But it's not because they're great passers. They're great athletes that can do things that you and I can't do, but they won't be able to pass cleanly on a consistent basis. And if you watch that Mark Andrews pass, the average fan will say, oh, touchdown. But if you really are critical about it, you're going like, why did he make it so hard for the tight end? He should have just put it in his chest, and it's over. The guy was by himself.
NFL matchup, loved it. Used to love Jaws on that. He would break down stuff great. During the NFL match, they were talking about the fact that one of the things that he needs to learn is that you don't have to throw 100 miles an hour when the guy's 20 yards away and he's wide open by himself.
Right.
Drop that thing in and same mistakes,
Yeah.
making the same mistakes.
Yeah. It'll come to hurt you in the tight games when you can't dominate him up front and run it and all that stuff. That's what's going to happen. Alex Diaz coming in with a super chat. He says, hey, I'm going to stay positive about the team after one game, and I'm going to take positives. Gaskins, Jones, Wilkins had good games. Got to take it week by week. Not the time to panic. Trust the process. Exactly. We can't. If we look, how about the people that overreacted last year? By the end of the year, they were completely changing their tune. You know what I mean? So it's the same thing, Alex. You got a great attitude about it. That's the way I think you got to look at it. Donald Peterson with his second super chat of the day. Donald is asking how the O-line, well, we talked about it already, Donald. I love what I saw from those guys. Considering it's the first game, it was amazing. Okay? It wasn't great because there were some penalties. It wasn't like they could dominate running the ball. They were more dominant pass protection. So I could find a couple holes in the game. But considering you didn't have an offseason, no training camp, no preseason, and 4 of the 5 guys are brand new, I thought it was a magical game by the offensive line. I thought it was more than you could ask for. Put it that way. I thought they superseded my expectations. That's what I think with the offensive line. I love what I saw from those guys because if this is your floor, I'm excited to see your ceiling. And Michael, Jordan, it's not the roof, baby. There's a sky. Just want you to know. Anyway, so Donald, thank you, my brother. Appreciate you chiming in on a super chat, just like Julius 305. He says, just send DeAndre Swift a gift basket with Bill's name on it. Congrats, Bill. There you go. I guess you're winning or something? Is that what it is?
Look, he's got Brown tonight. I have the tight end Fant. It's still up for grabs, but I think I'm up by 16. Okay. It's all right. We'll see.
Okay. All right.
My guy's got to show up and do something.
I'm playing Super Boom Shack this week.
How you be doing?
We got a really tight game, and I'll lose tonight. I'm winning 150.8 to 149.08.
Wow.
Right, but he's got the defense, the Steelers.
And you have nothing going?
Nothing, I'm done.
You're done.
I'm done. Although I have the Seahawks defense, they scored 0. So I guess if the Steelers get lit up, but I doubt it, it's the Giants.
Yeah, but you've heard
the second-year quarterback.
You've heard that they've been hitting bombs in practice, and supposedly the number 2 receiver is beating out Shepard. And
forgive my French, that don't mean shit to me.
I know.
That don't mean shit to me.
I know. So you're not.
Yeah.
How about Saquon? You need Saquon to have like 200 yards.
De'Aaron King threw 6 touchdowns. How'd that look the other night?
Yeah.
Remember when they in practice?
Yes,
scrimmage.
Yes.
De'Aaron King threw 6 touchdowns.
Yeah.
So where were the touchdowns? Where's because what I saw was an athlete with the ball in his hands.
Yeah.
I didn't see, again, De'Aaron King, by the way, he's in that category with Ryan Tannehill, with Cam Newton, with Lamar Jackson. I didn't see a great pass.
He threw one impressive pass.
Athlete.
Athlete. The one to Jordan, remember, between the corners. There was like 3 guys, and he laid it right in between.
An athlete will do that every once in a while. They will wow you.
Yeah.
Ryan Tannehill did the same thing. There were certain. I still remember the one he rolled out that he threw against Baltimore. Ryan threw. He rolled out to his left and threw the ball, and it was on a freaking dime, bro. It was one of the great throws.
A Patrick Mahomes style.
Right, but that's him. But that's
once in a while they'll.
All athletes do that. great passers like Russell Wilson do it all the time. What was Russell yesterday? 31 of 35 or something? Just stupid, bro.
Speaking of, we got to give some props to the
just stupid how good
to the porno
Russell
star.
Wilson is.
The porno star. Did you see his numbers?
No. Oh, yes. Yes. The porn star. Yeah.
19 of
Comeback.
20.
Yeah.
And no Chark, because I own Chark.
Yeah.
He only had 3 receptions.
Yeah, he didn't. Yeah, he didn't have a big game.
But 19 of 20, man. The porn star did well.
Yep. Josh chimes in with a little super chat. Thank you, Josh. Appreciate you. Steve M giving me a little love, or giving us a little love on the super chat. He says, 2 new coordinators, no preseason game, lots of new players. You should have known they would struggle. Thank you, Steve, for having a little logic to the whole thing.
Good point by Steve with the coordinators. We didn't even
Everything.
factor that in, bro.
They still lost by 10, bro, on the road, and they still had a shot, cutting it to 3. I mean, how people are freaking out about this game, I get it last year when you lose 59-10, and I didn't freak out, but I at least I understood that. This one, I don't understand. I don't at all. And Drupal in with his second super chat of the day. He says the Heat are getting no respect and Butler doesn't care. Love it. Heat in 5. That's good, man. I'm glad. I hope they all downplay the Heat as much as possible. You know what I mean? And in the end, I was glad that Boston won. Even though I wanted Toronto slightly because Toronto would be the easier matchup, but I still went with Boston over the weekend. I told you to lay the points, which, by the way, leads me to, I don't know if you knew this. Did you know this, Bill? We were 3-1 against the number in the NBA on Friday and Saturday.
It's tough, man.
And let me tell you,
basketball.
All of you that watch every day, you know I would have gone 4-1, right? Because what would I have done yesterday in the Denver Clippers game? Anybody that's following it, I would have taken the points, and Denver won. They didn't even need the points. They ended up winning, so I would have gone 4-1, but only 3-1 is the case. So we were 28-22-1 before. Now we are 31-23-1 in the NBA playoffs against the spread. All right. Tuesday we got the Heat and the Celtics. Celtics are favored by 1.5. The over and under is 210.5. And the Nuggets and Clippers are favored by 7. You know what I'm doing there. I'm going Nuggets all the way, +7. Give me the points, okay? Give me the damn points. And I'm going. The only loss I had was the over and under over the weekend. And I've noticed that a lot of my losses have been in the over and unders. Most of the point spreads, I've nailed it. Okay, and so that's actually,
go opposite O on the over-under.
Yeah, basically, I'm thinking of just staying away from them right now because I haven't had a good feel lately for the over and unders. The point spreads I do. I'm going Heat. I'm going to take the Heat +1.5. I'm going completely homer here on this one. I think the Heat are again getting dissed and they're not getting respected. So I'm going to go Heat +1.5, and I'm going to go Nuggets +7. In those games, and that'll be tomorrow. But what the hell? Let's give you our picks right now in the NBA slate so you have them there and ready to go. Game 1, Heat Celtics. Game 7, Nuggets and Clippers. And over the weekend, we told you to go Denver +8. They ended up winning on Friday 111-105. I told you to go over 217. They ended up scoring 216. So almost a push, but I ended up losing. Then I told you to take Celtics -2.5, that they would beat Toronto. They beat them by 5. And by the way, you could play the recording. I said give the 2.5 because they'll win by 3, 4, or 5. In the recording, it says it. If you listen to it, I said they would win by 3, 4, or 5. They won right there by 5, okay?
What do you want, the exact thing, like you won both showcases because you hit it on the number?
Hey.
You're like Price is Right, right?
And then the Lakers were favored by 6.5. and I told you that they would rout the Rockets and they would demoralize them 119-96. Okay? So, I don't know. I'm just well, there's a reason why we are 31-23-1 against the spread, right?
You're covering the VIGs on the losses, and you're winning.
Damn right I'm winning. I know
That's
I'm winning
impressive, bro.
you should see my account. I know I'm winning.
You're impressive, man.
I know I'm winning. So
you're over 25% because 32 to 23, 24. That's almost 3 out of 4. You know, it's dude, you're doing good. I'm impressed.
We're
it's tough.
Some serious
tough, man.
Ass. Okay.
Got to give props to Denver. I'm really impressed. Kind of like the heart that Toronto has, man.
Yeah.
Denver has a chance to do something no team has done, and that's come back from a 3-1 deficit twice. In a playoff.
I think they lose, but they don't lose by 7.
No.
They have already proven.
No, they got heart, bro. They're in,
bro.
yeah.
They're a tough nut to crack, man. They are.
And
all right.
joke, man.
Joker, yes.
He's no joke.
Nope, he's not.
He's not.
All right, let's take a quick break. We'll come back on the other side. Do want to tell you about Toyota of Hollywood. We love talking about Toyota of Hollywood. Steve Ostrov, all the great people out there. Go see Herbie Lopez. Go see the lovely and talented Lori Rodriguez. You might fall in love, too, and buy a car. You never know. Joel Rubio, Azric Smith, Gary Thompson. I've known Gary for many, many years. Great people out there at 1841 North State Road 7, folks. I'm telling you, they got a great selection of cars, 1,500, cars and trucks. So that's one heck of a selection. They've got, 400,000 square feet. I mean, I'm telling you, you're going to be amazed. Okay? If you're looking for a Supra, hard to find, they've got them there. And Mr. Zinn has got a couple of classic Supras there too. One that's worth like $300,000, another one that's worth like $100,000. It's crazy. Go over there to Toyota of Hollywood, 1841 North State Road 7. Tell them that Big O sent you. Whether you're buying or leasing a vehicle, that's the place to go. But make sure you mention my name. Give us some love. And trust me, they will give you plenty of love at Toyota of Hollywood.
America's premium sport crossover is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. 2021 RDX, $339 a month. $339 at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com. A travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
It's a buyer's market at Toyota of Hollywood. Over 1,500 Toyotas on the ground, and truckloads just keep on coming. Now pay up to 50% less. 2020 Camry, not $29,000, $17,775. 2020 Corolla, not $22,000, $13,775. Buy a new 2020 Toyota with 0 down and 0% financing, or we'll make your payments till 2021 at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street.
Welcome back. It was I was having some fun with somebody on Twitter because it's some of you out there you get to a point where you're silly and it's just ridiculous. Like the people that want to I ban football. I'm not going to see football anymore and all this stuff. And because of the politics or whatever, which we've talked about that many, many times over. So some guy, goes to me that he's boycotting, right? That he's boycotting the NFL because I put out a tweet that says I understand that we're in a microwave society. Let me read it. Let me read it exactly to you guys so you know. I understand we live in a microwave society that expects immediate change. Today, your Dolphins haven't played a perfect game, and it's still competitive on the road in a year with no offseason and monster turnover. And then I put compare today to last year in week 1, hashtag fins up. So then I get this guy, right? And he goes, year after year, decade after decade, same excuses, Big O. Glad I'm not missing anything since I'm boycotting the NFL, and I encourage more people to do the same. So then I tweet back to him, and I said, if you're boycotting, why are you commenting? Why do you care? Right? And he goes, because I can and because I'm a fan of yours. Pretty simple, sir. I may not agree with everything you post, but that's America. That's what it makes our country great. Hope you understand that, Big O. Have a great day. And I said, that's fine, but you're telling me one thing and you're doing something completely different. You know what I mean? So if you're really boycotting, then you don't tune in, you don't read, you don't care. You don't care if they win. You don't care if they lose. You don't care if they're doing great. You don't care if they're struggling, right? You're boycotting, right? I just found that funny. A guy named, I think it's Dan I. Cook or something, that he puts on his Twitter. It's there. The exchange. It's obviously gotten like a lot of comments from people. They're kind of laughing at him and all that stuff, and so he's gotten like plenty of folks are taking shots. Let's just say at the dude. But I just, folks, if you're going to boycott, then boycott. Don't go reading. Don't go keeping your fantasy team. Don't go commenting. If you really gave up and you're not a fan for no reason at all. Love it. Drew Boo says, I'm going to send more Rage Against the Machine to the Finns practice tomorrow. I love it. You Do Suck says, I saw that, I told them to shut up, bitch, using the rock clip. Ronald Hubbard says, I'm very encouraged by a Dolphin performance. Look how poorly we played the first month of the season last year. I saw a great deal to be excited about. I'm with you, man. I'm with you. I got no problem with what happened yesterday. Sucks that they lost, but it's not the end of the world. You know? So Miami will adjust. Robert Rosario says, hey, Big O, Pro Football Focus has the Dolphins as the best tackling defense team so far. Great news. Did they watch the game yesterday? I don't know if my problem is, dude, Pro Football Focus to me is as bogus as it gets. I don't follow their stats or anything that they say. I don't think it takes into consideration the situations that different players are in, the different games that they're in, the different level of competition that they're in from one week to another. It doesn't take into account sometimes a player is playing injured. Sometimes they're facing a player that is injured. You know what I mean? And you did well against the player in week 7 because he had a high ankle sprain. But in week 14, that player's grading out a lot better because he recovered from the high ankle sprain, but somebody else has to face the much better tackle. And so you get the same kind of grade when you didn't face the same player. To me, it's just Pro Football Focus is kind of a bogus way of creating stats that don't really tell you the story. And I'm a huge believer of this. Stats don't rarely actually tell you the entire story. Sometimes they do, and a lot of times they don't. Because there are things that happen in games that have nothing to do with the stats, and they affect everything that went on. And you can't do anything about it. And so to me, it's a little overrated because I've seen the writers and now some of the younger talk show hosts that just lean on stats. And I'm sorry, it's kind of like in soccer. People always look at the time of possession, and time of possession is so overrated because you could possess it less, but then you could score more because you were more efficient. You could take less shots than another team and still win because you were more efficient. It just, stats to me are misleading in a way. You know what I mean? Sometimes. Not all the times. Let's see. What else do we have here? Big O, do you think the Nuggets can pull off the impossible and knock off the Clippers? Yeah, they can. Of course they can. They've got the talent. For sure. Do I think they'll win tomorrow? No, I think they'll lose a close one. But if they win, am I going to sit there and go, oh, my God, I'm shocked the Nuggets won? No, I'm not. They're a pretty damn good team. And those two young guys, this is one of those moments for them. And if Jamal and Jokic can, turn it up in a game like this is what makes you stars. You know what I mean? And Jamal Murray's kind of taking a step in these playoffs. He kind of raised his stature in the league another notch now. I think people are looking at Jamal Murray like, yo, that's a flat-out badass now. Looking at him and oh, that's a good player. Now they're looking at him like, whoa, that's a guy I fear. Leon Fresco says, could have used Raekwon McMillan yesterday. Also, the offense looked exactly like the Chan Gailey offense from 2000. Need much more misdirection. Yeah, Raekwon would have saved the day. He would have, all by himself, he would have stopped it all. Mr. Ballgame says, there was tons of horrible football played yesterday, so I'm not disagreeing with them, but I do think they are quite misguided quite often. Okay? I'm still scratching my head on the Gailey hire. Here's what I think. Flores doesn't want a young, hot offensive coordinator potentially taking his job. No, I don't think so. I think he was looking for somebody to develop quarterbacks. And Chan Gailey's known for developing quarterbacks, and he has done a good job with offenses in different stops. He did a good job when he was here, considering what he had around him. So I disagree with you. I thought, is it Chan Gailey's fault that Preston Williams falls? Is it Chan Gailey's fault that Fitz threw a bad interception? Is it Chan Gailey's fault that Eric Flowers has a hold on a monster gain early in that game? Is it Chan Gailey's fault that Gesicki gets held in the end zone? Just help me out there. I'm just wondering. Did Chan Gailey cause all those things? Because if those things don't happen and they make the call in the end zone, then we've got the ball at the 1, right? Because they're holding Gesicki in the end zone. And then you're punching it in probably with Howard. If Eric Flowers doesn't get called for that hold, you got that big gainer, right? And that's more points on the board. And if Fitz doesn't throw a terrible interception, you continue with possession. And if Preston Williams doesn't fall, maybe he's got a shot at continuing the drive also. I'm not sure where Chan Gailey gets blamed for that. You guys got to help me out on that one, because I don't know what he's talking about. Flipper13 says it was a team loss. I believe the future is bright. I like what I saw potential-wise. Let's see. What else do we have? Raekwon saved the day for the Raiders in that fourth quarter, saving tackle on fourth down. That's one play. Good for him. I doubt he was going to be the difference. I doubt he was going to be the guy that was going to stop Cam all by himself. That doesn't make any sense. I am blaming Chan Gailey, but I would like to see him mix it up a little bit more. I don't think that's too much to ask. Like what? What are we talking about mix-up? I'm not sure what we're talking about. What's mixing it up? What does mix-up mean? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people caught footballs yesterday. 1, 2, 3 different backs yesterday. Gaskins, Breida, and Howard. What kind of mix-up are we talking about? We talking about, did you need a double reverse at a specific moment? Did you need a hook and ladder? I'm sorry, what's the mix-up? Oh, and one more thing. Is it Changeli's fault that Devontae Parker's hammy caved in? You see what I'm saying? It's just, it gets to a point where we're blaming things for no reason at all. And you can't blame Changeli yesterday. I think, who was it that said team loss? I'd rather go that way. I'd rather go with a team loss. I'm not blaming it on Fitz, and I'm not blaming it on the offense, and I'm not going to blame it on just Chan. I'm not going to blame it just on the defense. I'm not going to blame it just on special teams. I'm blaming it on everybody. It's a team loss. And no one person, not one coach, ended up really costing them the game. It was several things, right? It doesn't help that after a big gain that Baker then has the late hit and tacks on 15 more yards on that drive to make it a lot easier for New England.
The tackle out of bounds on
is that Changeli's fault? I'm sorry. Did I miss that? You know what I mean? It's lazy to just blame it on one person when everybody pretty much contributed to that loss. Okay? Big O, do you think people blaming Changeli will say he called the right game if Miami beats Buffalo? Probably not. Yeah, they'll say, nah, Fitz bailed him out. Poor tackling, boneheaded moves. Now, when a player's injured, I'm calling him Parkered. Nice job, CC. He's been Parkered. Annie Karina Silvestri just typed in a whole bunch of gibberish. Okay. I don't speak gibberish. All right, Annie Karina. So you're going to have to clear it up a little bit. We have the worst linebackers in the AFC after one game. Okay. Mr. Ballgame says tons of people assume Cam Newton couldn't be efficient in a new system, but I think New England did an awesome job of playing to Newton's strengths. Yeah, that's if you buy that's going to last you for a while. That's not going to last.
How long do you think he stays upright?
Maybe a month.
Yeah, I was thinking that's exactly
maybe a month.
4 to 6 max.
He's running 15 times a game like he did yesterday. It's over for him very soon. He'll blow something out. They'll crush his leg, shoulder, whatever, ribs.
I'm thinking of the play where he gets the first down on the fourth
pile
and short
and all that,
and it's a freaking rugby scrum at the 2.5, 3. They usually, for the quarterback, would blow the whistle. They let him get to the half-yard line. My dad was going nuts. What the quarterback? He stopped his forward progress.
He's not a regular quarterback.
I
That's
know.
the problem.
But
he's a running machine.
That type of play is the play that is going to wear on his ass.
For sure.
And he'll have nothing left after 4 to 6 weeks because of that.
And he's at the bottom of a pile. You want your quarterback doing that?
When 4 or 5 huge 300-pound guys are on top of you, yeah, you feel the 1,200 pounds of those 3 or 4 guys.
Yeah, forget about it, dude. It's over. Julius 305 chimes in with his second super chat. Julia says, sorry, I meant congrats to Bills. Bears win. This boom boom is lit right now. That's right. Trubisky with 3 touchdowns yesterday.
He has flashes. He has moments like he's
Athlete.
an NFL, right? NFL quarterback, blah.
Another athlete.
But pure luck that guy dropped the ball with 15.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They going all the way down the field, and the guy drops one in a really bad spot.
Yeah.
Right in his hands.
Yeah. Dan Guzman says, loyal listener since 2012, multiple assignments and locations. Love the coverage. Thank you, Dan. Appreciate you, my brother, very much. 420 Fuego says, we haven't had a good linebacker here since Dansby, and Dansby couldn't cover for crap. Funny how we say it's a good linebacker as long as he was playing the run. If Dansby had to cover, he could not cover. I don't know if you remember that, but Okay. Big O, what do you think of Tom Brady's debut with Tampa Bay Bucks? First game, man. First game. Give me a couple weeks to see what happens. They got way too many weapons, man. You know what I mean?
You got to.
Although I will tell you this, while I'm not ready to give up on Brady at all, I think he'll be fine there when it's all said and done. I don't know about Gronk, dude. Did you watch him yesterday?
What, the piano tied to his back?
Oh, my Lord. He looks like he's toast, bro. Wow.
I think Tampa, what they need to do is just condense
needs,
the playbook, right? Eliminate a few plays.
No, man, it's just a matter of
the throw across the field on the pick six.
Boy, he made two terrible. Those interceptions were on him. Those are bad interceptions.
You don't give it. Mike Evans not continuing to run the route the way he broke it off.
It was too high anyways.
You know what? Yes.
He's not the Stope, man. He isn't going to catch. It was a terrible pass, bro.
But Mike Evans wasn't Mike Evans yesterday.
Okay.
And obviously the hammy.
Again, I'm not overreacting after week one.
Yes.
I'm going to let them slide. I'm going to let them try to figure it all out.
First game.
It's the first game. The guy's new there with all these guys. I don't care how many, public parks he broke into in the last couple months there. None of that means anything to me. Okay? Like I said, let's give it some time. I'm going to be consistent on that. Although with Gronk, I'm pretty much going out on a limb tell you that dude looks toast. Maybe I'm wrong half a year from now, and in 8 games, half a season from now, and in 8 games, maybe he needs playing time because he was off for a year or two, off for a year also, I should say, not a year or two. He was off for a year also, so that maybe compounds the whole problem, and he's just not in football shape. But wow, I did not see a guy that I saw a guy lumbering, kind of like the guy that was towards the end of his career with New England, that he was just lumbering and worn out.
I'll say this, Breeze in the second half.
Yep.
Didn't look Breeze-like.
Right.
That offense, they didn't do much in the second half.
Right. Yeah. No, I'm with you. 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the text line. That's 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the text line. You can also reach out to us on Twitter. That's at Big O Show. Follow us there as always. So Adam Gase and the boys. Now, Miami plays the Bills next week, and the Bills look pretty good. Josh Allen was excellent yesterday, 33 of 46, 312 yards, 2 touchdowns, ran 14 times for 57 yards and a touchdown. Not a fan of that. Again, if you got to run that much, it only ends one way in this league.
That stuff catches up to you.
Yes. Sam Darnold was 21 of 35, 215 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. Le'Veon Bell came in banged up, ended up injuring his, I think it was his hamstring, left, 6 rushes, 14 yards. The coach then says, well, I probably played him too much. He was a little banged up, and it's just weird. This Adam Gase, dude, and you know what? Maybe I shouldn't complain. Maybe we should all across the country praise Adam Gase. That way the Jets think that they're doing the right thing, even though they're losing, and then they keep them there. I almost feel like if we start making fun of Gase, and so does everybody else nationally, and we all get on the Manish Mehta, bandwagon, which, Manish is entertaining as he slams them all the time, we could keep him there, you know what I'm saying? But if we all slam him, then the Jets are going to look around and go, are we doing the wrong thing here with that guy? Because I'm serious, man. I want him there for 30 years. I want him coaching the Jets. Do you guys know a Jets fan that likes Adam Gase? Because by now I would imagine that all Jet fans can't stand Adam Gase. His players can't stand him. The media can't stand him. I would think a lot of the fans can't stand him. But I got to say, it is beautiful to watch the Jets lose, even though it means the Bills won. But just to watch Adam Gase lose and then have to handle those post-game press conferences with the losses, it's awesome. And the crazy eyes going all bonkers, oh, it's awesome. It's fantastic. It's one of the things that we should all live for in life is watching Adam Gase suffer. But meanwhile, he's actually stealing money. That's the amazing part. He stole money here in Miami. Now he's stealing money with the Jets. And you know, whenever they fire him, it's not like it's going to be after his final season of his contract. You know he's going to have a year or two left over that are guaranteed, and you got to still pay him. Amazing. And to think that Mike Tannenbaum and Stephen Ross thought they had themselves the second coming of a great coach when they hired Adam Gase. Which is another reason why it shows you that Mike Tannenbaum has no business running a football team. Nice guy, but I got to tell you, every time I see him on television, it's baffling to me. It just kind of makes TV lose all credibility of you're just hiring anybody to hire somebody, and because he's the latest GM to get fired, let's just use the latest GM there. Because does anybody that's tied to the Dolphins and the Jets and is at least in those markets, and they see that guy, it's like you got to cringe. And you wonder, does the rest of the country ever take this guy seriously? Adam Gase. That was classic, dude.
He's a pretty good actor, and he could fool people. I mean, remember after our playoff appearance, you know, with Tannehill going down the last couple games and more coming in, we were fooled. We all thought, you know, hey. But, of course, the second season started, and we saw with a quickness that, yeah, this was an aberration.
Big time. Big time. By the way, our prayers to the folks in the Louisiana area, because, unfortunately, we know that Tropical Storm Sally, I think it should be a hurricane by now, right? I'm not sure if it is already, but
I watched a little bit of that. They're talking about this thing staying basically in circle jerking and stuff in the same area for like 24 to 36 hours and just dump like a bucket of water, just dumping it on them, man.
No, and the winds and everything are going to be.
No, but you know how the rain
it's the worst
gets
part.
everything
The
loose,
worst part.
and then the winds come, and there's nothing to hold the roots.
It's terrible.
It's stupid. This thing ain't going to hardly move nothing over the next 36 hours. Just dump water.
And I'm sure, and you could tell, dude, when we were getting it, like it was going through, and
it's right by the shoreline. It's right by the shore, so it's just going to be throwing that surge.
And the Keys were getting pounded this weekend. They had like 10 inches of rain or something. It was just ridiculous. Luckily, it didn't go more north. That we got some, but we got, nothing compared to what the Keys got. But you could tell every time you saw it on radar that thing was going to form into a hurricane. And sure enough, it's supposed to turn into a hurricane. I haven't checked it out if it's already a hurricane at this point, but
the Gulf is like the worst waters in the world.
Yeah.
Because as soon as it doesn't matter the size of the storm. Once it gets there, man, it's going to become a monster.
Yeah.
It's going to blow up.
It says on SoundCloud, for whatever reason, the latest shows no longer show up first. The first ones are September 7th, and then the latest ones are mixed in down the list. Not sure if Bill can fix that or not. That's what M is asking on the text line. What? I don't know what that means. Let me see on mine. Let me see. I can pull up my SoundCloud right now because I always have it. That's not the case on mine. It's usually they're in order. Yeah, no, they're in order. They're in order, dude. I'm not sure what's going on with you. So sorry. Not the case with us, unfortunately. So I'm sorry about that. I can't answer that right now, and it has nothing to do with Bill. He doesn't really he can't move crap around in the SoundCloud like that.
No.
You know what I mean?
Once I put it in, that's all I could do is take it out.
Yeah, that's it.
That's
you can
it.
delete it.
I cannot move the order.
Yeah. So it must be with you or something.
You know
Refresh
something?
it.
I will say this. SoundCloud gets a little silly and whatnot, and they're located over in Germany. They don't have a North American, so we can't call them. And I have seen some funny stuff that you just turn it off and turn it back on, and everything's fixed. So it may be just when you went in.
Mickey Collazo out in Port St. Lucie says it's a new and young team. Communication needs to be better, and yesterday just wasn't Fitzpatrick's day. But trust the process. Flores and this staff will improve and make this team better. Remember, no true OTAs or preseason. This was a shake the rust off game. The worst part of this game was that the Patriots' play calling was so predictable. I thought the defense was going to put the hammer down on them, but Flores and the staff will get this team right on track. Thank you, Mickey. Appreciate you. And I'm with you 1,000%, my brother. I think they're going to get them back on track. I agree with you 100%. Remember, if you can't on the text line, you can also reach out to us on the YouTube chat board, YouTube super chat, and on the text line, and on Twitter at Big O Show. But the text line 786-322-1105. You can always get stuff in there also, and sometimes you can get longer comments in there too. Say, brother, where can I listen to the Dolphins post-game show? I did not do a post-game show this week. I'll start next week with post-game shows. Okay.
You don't celebrate losses.
No, it's not that. I just
back in the day, we'd all want to go to pizza after get whatever, and we were always told you don't celebrate. Anytime you don't celebrate losses.
I was kind of worn out. Big O, not sure if you're having Andy or Scott on Thursday or Friday. Was wondering, need 3 in a PPR. Oh, okay, that must have been from last week. It says yesterday. Oh, he called right before noon. Oh, I'm sorry, bro. Oh, no, wait a minute. Here it is. No, this is the new one. He says, Big O, I'm seeing everyone crying like bitches about the Patriots lose. Newton will not survive this season with his running game, and I saw much improvement for the offensive line. The defensive passing game is much improved than last year. They improved the run defense. Dolphins will be a lot better this season. And lastly, I'm not blaming Ryan. 2 interceptions thrown. Patriots got away with interference. G from Pennsylvania. G, I am with you 1,000%, my brother. I've been pretty much saying that throughout the show.
They were more physical than the 70s bump and run days, man. It wasn't
good, man. It wasn't good yesterday, but, I mean, overall, I like where this team is going. I really do. And I'm not going to overreact after one loss. By the way, yesterday, Marlins ended up taking the doubleheader from the Phillies, 2-1 and 8-1. Sixto Sanchez was awesome. 7 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 4 Ks. That kid's got a 1.69 ERA. I hope you're DVRing or watching them live. Do not miss a Sixto Sanchez outing. The Braxton Garrett kid, rookie, made his debut yesterday. 5 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 6 Ks, a 1.80 ERA. And his face on the Brian Anderson throw was classic. Okay. 8-1 win. The Marlins are now 23-21. They're in second place in the NL East. They jumped the Phillies. They're 3-3 in the 7-game set against the Phillies. At 4:10 this afternoon is Game 7 of this series to wrap up the series. 7-game series. Anyways, Vince Velasquez for the Phillies and Pablo Lopez, who has not pitched as well lately, needs to get back on track. 4:10 for that one. But look, again, let's go back to what I say with the Dolphins. You got to leave the past behind. Okay, whatever happened with Loria, whatever happened with John Henry, we got to leave all that behind. All right? Give these guys a chance. It looks like they're headed in the right direction. They're reloading it with young guys. I know the next step to prove that they're really committed is to sign these young guys, but these guys aren't going to be up for salaries for a few more years. But if the Sixto Sanchez of the world are re-signed, okay, that, you know, and they gave some money to Brian Anderson and what was he, Miguel Rojas and guys like that. Now that's not big money, but eventually some of these other young cats, you know, like a Sixto, I can't wait till J.J. Bleday comes up again. You know, it's really nice to see what's going on with oh damn it, now I'm brain farting with the kid from here, bro, the outfielder. What's his name? That plays center field. That he's playing better now the last couple games. Brinson. Lewis Brinson. It's really nice to see what Brinson is doing. So let's just, get on the bandwagon, man. Give them a chance, okay? And this team might end up making the playoffs. And this is one of those teams. It's not because you fear that they can go all the way to the World Series and win it, but you fear playing teams like this because they're not supposed to be there. Nobody's going to give them a chance. Vegas is going to make them an extremely heavy underdog, and baseball is a really wacky game. Baseball's the one sport that the best team doesn't always win. Okay? It's possible. So I'm just saying, don't cheat yourself out of some pretty cool moments that are happening right now with this Marlins baseball team. That's all I'm saying. If you like baseball just a little bit or you love it, give the youngins a chance, man. They really deserve it. I like what I'm seeing.
When you are going head-to-head against the team that you're trying to jump in front of, and obviously that second-place spot in the division gives you automatic playoff, and to go and beat them twice, that was awesome.
Yeah.
That was absolutely awesome yesterday.
Yeah, no, I mean,
very impressive.
A young team like the way just overall, a young team like this that's played this way.
No, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
No,
that's the team that I've got to get in front of. It's us, mano-a-mano, and you take them down twice in that doubleheader.
Yep.
Man, very impressive.
Lonzo Ball is signed with Clutch Sports. That's LeBron. How about that? Let's see. You don't pay a guy for one skill set. Big O, Gase is terrible, especially in pressure situations. R. Castell 6 says, it would have been great if we would have kept Raekwon for the run game. Right. Okay. You want to keep a guy that doesn't fit your system because he can't cover. So you got to predict every time you're in there that for sure it'll be a run. But if they pass and then he's got to go cover somebody, then what's your answer to that? Sometimes some of you out there, you got to do a little thinking before you open your mouth.
You know what my answer to that is?
You got to
the chains get moved.
Yes. Because when they see Raekwon out there, what do you think they're going to do to him? Oh, let's run at him. Hey, Raekwon McMillan's out there. Let's run at him. No, let's make him cover. I love it. No, Raekwon would have helped out. The idea is not to make you one-dimensional, okay? The idea is to make you multifaceted. And if you can't do multiple things, okay, they'll get better against the run. They've added people for that. Just got to figure things out. So for those of you out there that think you needed Raekwon, so you're expecting the run defense to not get better and they'll be terrible all year. So in your eyes, Tom Brady will throw multiple interceptions in every game, pick sixes in every game. I think he's thrown a pick six in the last 3 games he's played. But so you expect Tom Brady to suck from here on out. Is that what it is? Is that how it goes? I can't agree with the linebacker thing. When was the last time Miami had a Pro Bowl linebacker? 420 Fuego, how many times are you going to ask that? Huh? There's 420 Fuego. We'll give you the warning ahead of time, okay? Because I think I've already seen that once. We have a lot of people on the chat board today. A lot of people have been chatting. But what is it? Not saying Raekwon was Zach Tom. Okay, all right. Let's just, why even bother with the warning? You know what I mean? Why even bother? I see it now. I see the green troll. I see it now. Okay. Yeah, this guy's like tweeting texting every other minute. Yeah, and it's just, okay, just so you'll know, on this show, have a conversation. If you have an agenda and you think you're going to be pressing the agenda the entire show, okay, whatever it is, and you want to keep saying the same stupid comment over and over and over and over again, you become a pain in the ass to everybody and me. And guess who has the last word? Me. Okay? Last time I checked, I think it says the Big O Show. That's me. So I will have the last say. So then I will just block your ass out. And now
This
you won't
isn't the
comment.
Hound and Troll show?
Yeah, I mean, if you're here to troll, you're not the first and you won't be the last, but you won't last long. Okay? It's pretty simple, man. Have a conversation, make your point, and that's it. We can agree, we can disagree. Yes, we know that they haven't had Pro Bowl linebackers. We understand. But if you want to keep repeating the comment over and over and over again, and you think you're going to get somewhere, you're actually not going to get anywhere here. You end up getting blocked, and then that's it. And now you can watch and never comment again. What a shame. Ain't that a shame, as Cheap Trick would say.
Speaking of linebacker play, the kid Simmons from Clemson, did you see him get burned for the bomb?
No, I did not.
Yeah.
It's fine. He's a rookie.
He took, like usual, he took that step forward toward the play, and the running back goes, and you just see Simmons, even with that 4.2 speed, no, see you later, to the house.
Yeah, definitely. Kenneth Cleveland, a little love, his second super chat. He says, Big O, Hallie and Selma said, when are you coming by the Boom Boom Room for a little hip rehab? And tell Bill he needs to come in a little early tonight to go over the VIPs list for tonight. There you go. Little Monday Night Football. We got 2 games tonight.
See, I'm obligated because I got that raise. I got to show up.
That's right. Tanny kills in action tonight, baby. We got 2 games tonight, Pittsburgh and the Giants. Don't you feel like that one's going to suck? That game, Pittsburgh and the Giants. Tennessee and Denver, if the rookie, not the rookie, he's like a second or third year guy now. I forgot what, third year now, right? Yeah, Drew Lock. I like Drew Lock. If he plays like he played at the end of the year last year, then we might have ourselves a game. If Denver can actually control that running game, that's what I want to see. I want to see if Ryan wins with the chucho, as they say, not with the legs. I want to see if they can. I want to see who takes the page out of the Ravens and takes Derrick Henry out, and then let's see 17 have to win it with his arm.
No Von Miller, man.
Yeah.
That's
terrible.
Oh.
Terrible. But they did get Chubb back. Chubb was out with the knee injury last year, so Chubb is back. So they do have a great pass rusher on one end, a young pass rusher, but obviously without Von Miller. It's enormous.
There's extra seconds on the passes, the running
It's good
game.
for Ryan.
Yeah, everything.
Good for Ryan.
Everything.
It's good for Ryan. Should be fun tonight. Tennessee's favored by 3, Pittsburgh by 6. I'm not picking any NFL games this week. I'm going to give it 2 weeks to kind of get a feel for the league, and then maybe I'll start making some picks at that point.
Oh, you don't want to be like Gretzky's wife and bet on a coin flip?
Yeah.
That's basically what you're doing.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, I can't pick games right now.
If Washington, Philly, Indy, Jacks doesn't show you that this is a coin flip, I don't know what does.
Oh, you're right. Julius 305 chimes in with another super chat, his third of the day. He says, troll, ? You've got another thing coming. Judas Priest. You are correct, sir. When you troll, some heads are going to roll. That's what's going to happen, baby. Okay? That's what's going to happen. When you troll, some heads are going to roll. That's what's going to happen. Little rapping with metal. Okay? Just to keep it in that Judas Priest mode for you.
Lincoln Park's impressed.
There you go. That's right. That's right.
Incubus as well.
Mike No-Go Zone says, haha, my New York Giants are going to participate in a sucky game. You're probably right. If the kid shows up, if he balls out, because they've got the running back. I mean, that kid's special. But it's all up to Jones. And if Jones can show up, then maybe we can make it a game. And, the interesting part is, where is Ben Roethlisberger now? After the elbow surgery, all that stuff, is he back to being Big Ben? And we're going to find out now, because he's been out for a year and the surgery. So we'll see how sharp he is at this point. And the Giants, I can't say like their defense scares anybody. You know what I'm saying? So what can I tell you? All right, 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the text line. Let me give you a little music news, right? First of all, let's start off with some birthdays. We love giving you a little music segment. American musician Ed King was born on this date back in 1949. Do you know who Ed King was? Ed King was the guitarist of the psychedelic rock band Strawberry Alarm Clock and guitarist and bassist for Leonard Skinner from 72 to 75 and from 87 to 96. Sadly, King died in his Nashville home in Tennessee on the 22nd of August in 2018 at the age of 68. But you play for the Strawberry Alarm Clock, and then you play Leonard Skinner. I mean, dude, psychedelic rock to southern rock?
Pretty wide realm going on there, man.
Is that awesome or what?
Wow.
I did not know that. I had no idea when I saw it. I didn't know that. And then this is the...
No boundaries in your catalog there.
Yeah, and this is the cool and disturbing part about birthdays today. Steve Gaines was born on this day back in 1949, and Steve Gaines is the guitarist with Leonard Skinner. Back in 1974, he was with them, Sweet Home Alabama, Freebird, all that good stuff. Gaines was killed in the plane crash on October 20th in 1977 when the band was on the plane going from Greensville, South Carolina to Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and it crashed outside of Gillsburg, Mississippi. Gaines died from the blunt force trauma to the head. He was 28 years old. The crash also killed Ronnie Van Zant. Steve's sister, Cassie Gaines, also, she was one of the backup singers. And Steve Gaines apparently was, legend says this guy was like one of the great guitarists and kind of like an under-the-radar guy that never got the credit that he deserved. Born in 1950 on this date, Paul Kossoff, guitarist for Free, All Right Now. He unfortunately died of a heart attack on March 19th of 1976 during a flight from Los Angeles to New York. Can you imagine dying on a plane? You have a heart attack, and then your body's there just sitting in the plane for the rest of the flight? It's kind of weird, isn't it? Next up is 1959, Morton Harkett. Morton Harkett is the lead singer for Aha. There you go. So a little Take on Me, which that video became like a sensation, right?
Oh, the animation crossover.
Yeah.
That was very ahead of its time.
Yeah, definitely. And I always, it's funny because obviously that's the famous song of theirs, but I love Sunshine's on TV or whatever, that song.
Yes. I know exactly what you're talking. Yes.
It's a great song, dude.
Yeah.
I love that song, bro.
It's up there with like Space Age Love Song for Flock of Seagulls.
Yeah,
Everybody talks about this one, but this one is better.
Yeah,
Sorry.
It's great, dude. Yeah, I'm with you there. In 1972 on this date, Nasir Jones was born. We know him as Nas, the U.S. rapper. I know he's not dead, unlike the other ones that have celebrated birthdays, unfortunately. This one is dead. Born on this date back in 1983, Amy Winehouse was born. She passed away at the age of 27. She died of alcohol poisoning on July 23rd of 2011. It's been 9 years already. It's amazing. All right, let's go with 1968 for events. And we go with the Archies. The first episode of their comic strip happened on this date. The Archies was aired on US TV. The recording group had contributions from Ron Dante, Andy Kim. Andy Kim, do you know who Andy Kim is? Oh man. Damn, how's that song go? Oh man. I'm gonna have to cheat for the Andy Kim song. I know the damn song. I'm feeling it in my head, and I can't. Shake Me Loosely, whatever.
Rock me, da 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 da.
That's it.
Yes.
That's it. Rock me, whatever, something like that. Oh man, forgot the guys.
Rock me gently.
Rock me slowly, take it easy. Don't you know? Yeah, that I have never been in love like this before. See, I knew it. Rock Me Gently. Anyways.
Canadian, actually.
So he was in the Archies, okay? So Andy Archies made also music for the Monkees, okay? A lot of the same people. And then they would play the instruments, okay? 1974, Eric Clapton scored his U.S. #1 with his version of Bob Marley's song, I Shot the Sheriff, which, by the way, to this day is still one of the great remakes of all time. In 1979, The Who, the film Quadrophenia, was released based on The Who's 73 rock opera. The film featured Phil Daniels, Toa Wilcox, Ray Winestone, Michael Elphick, and Sting. There you go. And in 1984, David Bowie won Video of the Year for China Girl at the first MTV Video Awards. The song was co-written by David Bowie and Iggy Pop. Did you know that? China Girl?
I had no idea Iggy was involved.
Iggy Pop was a part writing contributor to China Girl. Okay? During their years in Berlin, first appeared on Pop's album, The Idiot, released in 1977. Okay? Let's see, 1969. And here we go. 1969, Genesis played their first paying gig at an English cottage owned by Peter Gabriel's former Sunday school teacher, hence the band's name, Genesis. Let's see what else. In 1984 on this date, the Cars won Video of the Year for You Might Think I'm Foolish at the first ever MTV Video Music Awards in 1984. And in 2013 on this date, the young lady that my daughter loves, Lorde, began a 19-week run on top of the rock songs charts with her hit song, Royals. All right? There you go. And Kenneth Cleveland gives us his third super chat of the day. All right, Kenneth, and he says, troll, we don't need no stinking troll. Does he have any idea what we do to trolls around here? Shadow up, cowboy. All right, I like it. Shadow up, cowboy.
Yes, if you're wondering, it's been 50 consecutive minutes here running amok.
Don't they do that on QAM and 790? Don't they talk for 50 consecutive minutes? Don't they do sports for 50 consecutive minutes there? Well, I did some music there in the minute. Mixed in a little music there.
Have to, man.
Always got to get a little music in.
You wouldn't feel right at the end of the day if you didn't,
No. Got to always get music in there, man. There is no other way of doing it, bro. Got to get music in there. Did you see, by the way, to stay off of the sports subject for one more minute here, Joaquin Phoenix Did you watch The Joker?
You know something? I saw the show. I saw the movie, but I
Did
know
you like
last night
it?
he was. You know what? It was twisted and
I haven't seen
perfect.
it yet. People tell me it's good. People say he did a great job.
You ready? You know how Halloween? Okay.
The original?
No, not Carpenter's one. The one that
Rob Zombie.
Thank you. Rob Zombie did. How it was more accurate. You know that.
Oh, yeah,
the
that
family.
they went to-
Mom and Dad
he
want to be
dealt
coming
into the
back
beginning of
from
the
a
story.
fancy. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's more true to life.
Right.
That Joker is more true to life. Like how, his upbringing.
Well, he's been offered now a whopping $50 million for 2 sequels of The Joker. Okay? The actor who won a raft of awards for his portrayal of the comic book villain is in talks to return for a double helping. An insider says Joaquin initially felt Joker was a standalone movie, but he's changed his tune now. He says he wants to play the character again despite the controversies that came with the release last year. I'm still being negotiated, but the scripts are being written and Joaquin is very engaged with it. My sources say makers Warner Brothers were as shocked as anyone by the film's success last year. They plan to make 2 sequels in the next 4 years with long-term commitments to Joaquin and his Joker director Todd Phillips and producer Bradley Cooper. It's all about getting Joaquin to accept the terms and the biggest payday of his career by far, $50 million for the 2 movies.
You know what it is?
Wow.
He doesn't have to act because he's
He's kind of a goof. Yeah, he's
Here, I love Heath Ledger's Joker, the way he acted, his little lines and the craziness. But the Joker with Joaquin Phoenix, like I said, the storyline, it's probably more true to how the Joker and why he would be the way he is based on the background they lead up,
Dirty Mike Dominguez chimes in a little super chat. He says, Wilkins looked good. How did he play overall? He did some nice things in there, but I mean, listen, just like everybody else, he and everybody on that D line and the linebackers struggled to stop the run. So we've got to kind of, put a negative grade on everybody for not being able to slow Cam down, my man. But you could tell that he is getting more comfortable and looking better, and he made some plays yesterday. So I'm happy with Wilkins, man, overall. Again, I'm not going to overreact on one game. I'm just not. It's not fair right now to do that.
Just a little follow-up on Joaquin. I don't know if you saw it. I caught the very end of it, like the last minute or two. Joaquin Phoenix was with Anderson Cooper on 60 Minutes, one of the segments last night.
Okay.
Okay. I'm sure you could probably,
it's probably on YouTube.
Go back and get it and stuff. But yeah.
Was it worth it?
Look, like I said, I caught the end of it. And Joaquin, just the minute and a half that I saw, he's not all there.
Oh, no. I think
the deck of cards he's playing with is like 26. He's definitely 50% missing.
Like a lot of artists, he's kind of toasted, bro. Yeah, he's got
eccentric doesn't do it justice.
There's a screw loose there with Joaquin Phoenix. There's no doubt, but that's probably why he can act and play.
He doesn't have to act. He doesn't have to. He could be out there and just show up and be yourself.
Dan Horsley's going to rock me gently, rock me slowly. Take it easy, don't you know?
Isn't it hilarious that like these cartoon shows like actually produced top 40 hits back in the day?
It's crazy. Super V says, Big O, did you see that they made another Dune movie? Man, I thought the original one wasn't very good personally. I didn't like the original Dune, so I don't know why they would make a remake or do. Well, maybe the remake might be better, but the first one, I'm with you.
Sting back?
Yeah,
Sting doing a cameo.
I wasn't that big a fan of that movie Dune.
You weren't worried about where the spice was coming from.
Yeah. Hey, let's talk about the Heat and what matches you're looking at and the keys to the series. Alex, we'll do a lot of that tomorrow, bro. Okay, because tomorrow's the game. We still have 24 hours. So tomorrow we'll talk more about the game, Today I want to focus more on football, and I did give you the spreads, by the way, on all of this. But we'll get into the Jimmy Butler, Marcus Smart stuff that we're going to see. Jaylen Brown, definitely Tatum. That's a dude that you definitely got to stop because Tatum is a freaking star. So that'll be fun to get into. I think Bam is going to have a big series in this one. I really do.
They got a lot of options, man.
Oh, they're good, man.
And like Jimmy had said right after, like the next test, it bumps up several levels.
Yeah.
No matter who it was going to be. And obviously, like you had talked about earlier, Boston is on paper definitely the tougher of the two teams. It's a good test. I don't know how you feel. If we beat Boston, do you give us a shot against whoever comes out of the West because of beating Boston, or do you think it's another jump up? You know what I'm saying? Where are you at with that thought?
Where
if we beat Boston,
right?
Whoever comes out of the West,
I got a shot.
We have a shot if we could beat a team like Boston.
What I've noticed is that we have a shot in this environment.
Okay.
That's what it is, because if we had to go on the road,
you're right.
Then I would say they don't have a shot. I don't know if they get to the Eastern Conference Finals.
We were not a good road team.
No, we were a terrible road team.
Yeah.
So that's why, if they had to deal with crowds and all that, they might have been too young for that. But right now, it's like
this is a perfect environment for where we're at,
and we seem to feed off this environment.
It worked. We got the best record, hands down.
Because if you're too worried about the environment, then you're not worried about your game. These guys aren't worried about their environment. They're just worried about their game. Because when you hear people say, oh, man, no, it sucks to play without the crowd because you need the crowd to feed you. And some players need the crowd to feed them for negativity. They feed off the negativity.
How many players have we heard? Their favorite sound is the sound of silence at a visit. Right. They don't even want to hear the 100,000 at their stadium. They love the silence on the road.
And so that's why it's cool to see that when you see them handling it this way, and that kind of puts you all in an even level playing field. And then there are those guys that need the crowd to feed their egos in order to play well, or they need the negativity to feed their confidence to play well. Miami is not working on any of those things. They're not working on needing the crowd to boost them, and they're not working on the crowd to be negative to get them going. Jimmy is a self-motivated player. And in order to actually have success in the Heat organization, you must be self-motivated because they're going to motivate you, but it takes a professional attitude in order to have success with the Heat. Because you got to have Dwayne Wade's work ethic, or you got to have Alonzo Mourning's crazy-ass work ethic, or you got to be Keith Askins, or you know what I'm saying? You've got to be like that. And so Bam has it, Jimmy has it, Tyler has it, Duncan has it, UD's there. All these people, Goran Dragic, all these guys, Kelly Olynyk, Iguodala, Crowder, these are all people that are self-motivated. They don't need the periphery to lift them up. And there are some guys that I would think a Russell Westbrook, I think that might be one of those guys that feeds off negativity from the crowd, and he's not getting it now. And so I know he didn't play for a while, but it's kind of weird how the dynamics of this whole
Westbrook
thing.
looks like a guy that just his favorite is to flip you the middle finger, like,
right.
ha.
Right.
Yep.
And he's not getting that now, so he doesn't have that. And so I think certain players need that in order to lift their game. And right now, Miami is feeding off this environment that it has to come from within. And if it's not there and you've got to go find it in other areas, you're done. And Miami has been just fine in that area. Now we'll see how, everything else works out now.
You think about how Miami is, and going back, obviously, Riley, and we're like a self-contained unit, like a bubble to begin with, and it's us against, and as long as we work within our, stay within ourselves, do our thing, be Heat, we're fine.
Yeah. That's
And,
kind of the way it's worked
it's
out.
exactly this environment is a bubble.
Yeah.
I'm just glad to hear that Jimmy's not getting in trouble anymore for like dribbling at 3 or 4 in the morning and bothering people at the hotel.
Yeah. I remember, when you said you would take the Celtics at 12-1 odds. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. And it's a good bet, isn't it? Or was it 16-1? I don't know. But if you did, you're looking pretty good right now, right? Because they're advancing. They're good, man. They're really good. The only thing I didn't know is how this environment would play into everything. You know what I mean? And that's the one thing that I now is when I'm seeing it, after
You can see how some teams have thrived and some teams that it adversely affected.
Yeah, and I wasn't sure if Miami was going to thrive in this. I mean, come on, man. How many of us had them in the Eastern Conference? You know what I mean? This is crazy that they're this far already.
Denver.
I only had them up until the last round. I had them going out against Milwaukee. That's what I thought would end up happening. And look what's turned out. And Milwaukee might have been one of those teams that really needed a home court. That's what it kind of looks like. It's not just a matter of exposing Giannis that, hey, you can't shoot, and we got to just make it hard for you to get to the basket. But it's also maybe that's a team that needs their other players need to feed off of that home crowd, because I certainly don't see them as the kind of team that feeds off negativity. That's not that team. Westbrook's that kind of player, but I don't think that's that.
You know
kind
who's
of team.
not performing well either? Honestly, man, the Clippers.
Yeah, well,
the Clippers have showed some kinks, man.
Yeah, and I think it's also they're up against a tough team, man, in Denver. And
in Denver would be a team that the altitude factor and how teams do going to. I would think that Denver would lose the most by not being at home,
right?
Because they have an advantage that no other team has.
Nobody has that. Yeah, you're right. You're 1,000% right. Joe says, very bad game. I tried to find something that was good to take from that game. All I could say is the O-line played good and we ran the ball okay. But other than that, there's not much to take from the game. I guess you didn't watch Byron Jones. I thought he played all right. Thought he did a nice job. You know what I mean? I don't know. You didn't see Myles Gaskins play well? I mean, both running backs ran for 4.4 yards per carry. It's not their fault that they weren't in the kind of game that you could give them a lot of carries with a lead, that they were trailing by a bunch, but they played well. I didn't think they played bad.
We never quit.
No, yeah, never quit. But I'm just saying,
made some big, man, the tackle to have him fumble out of the back of the end zone, that play's huge.
That was, actually, Baker made some mistakes, but he played well too. He had his moments. And they cut it to 3 late in that game. I mean, I don't know. It all depends.
Got a 2-point conversion when we needed one.
Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. You know, that's all it is. And I guess that gentleman there does not see it well. He doesn't like it. Let's see. What do we have here? Okay. Rich V says it's a good bet for sure. Yeah, so far it's turned out to be a pretty decent bet. Listen, I've kind of put my money where my mouth is. I've won a lot with Boston, with the number in Vegas. So they've kind of helped me out. Denver's helped me out too. You know, I won yesterday with Denver. I just wasn't on the air to say it, but I would have taken the points too. They would help out, and I'm taking the points tomorrow. I'm going to take +7 against the Clippers. Hells to the yeah. All right, 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the text line, 786-322-1105.
1 hour and 5 minutes and continuing.
All right, let's do this. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back here in 2 minutes. We'll take a quick break, and I got to talk about Cam Newton, his chain, and the Dolphin players. We'll do that next.
America's premium sport crossover is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. 2021 RDX $339 a month. $339 at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com. A travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
It's a buyer's market at Toyota of Hollywood. Over 1,500 Toyotas on the ground, and truckloads just keep on coming. Now pay up to 50% less. 2020 Camry, not $29,000, $17,775. 2020 Corolla, not $22,000, $13,775. Buy a new 2020 Toyota with 0 down and 0% financing, or we'll make your payments till 2021 at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street.
We're back. All righty, we take you here till I have no idea. We're going to keep talking here. The other thing that I wanted to get into, because I thought it was kind of funny, Cam Newton wears these chains, right? And so there was like an exchange between some of the Dolphin players and the Patriot players. And Christian Wilkins is seen. And I think what the Dolphins were doing is effing with Cam Newton, kind of busting his chops and all that stuff. And look, in the end, Cam Newton got the last laugh when it's all said and done. I personally am not buying any of this gimmick crap that the Patriots pulled yesterday. Too many people are like into this praise crap, like, oh, this is, Belichick used him the right way, and Cam Newton looked great and all that. And yeah, he looked fantastic yesterday doing his thing. I get it. Okay? This is the only way he can play. And so it was funny yesterday watching Christian Wilkins try to pull on Cam Newton's chains. And I think he was kind of doing it to F with him a little bit, like he didn't care. And he was probably talking crap. And so these guys got a little bothered by it and all that. So it's just a back and forth type of thing. But it's nice because it kind of helps for the rivalry, down the line. But I like the fact that Wilkins wasn't fearful of the player, of who he is or any of that. And that he was willing to, F with him. Like, man, you ain't nothing. I'll take your change from you. That kind of stuff. And so Cam got kind of, testy about it. And he talked about it like, some guy's trying to take my chains that's known for splits and stuff, and Christian Wilkins. I mean, it was fun stuff. But what I like is that Wilkins has got that edge to him. He's the guy that when he finishes growing into this position, I think he's going to be an absolute monster in that D line. He's going to create havoc, whether he's playing end, whether he's playing nose tackle, which they've got him obviously in the 3-4. They've got him on the end side, but I think he's that guy that is just going to be a disruptor. And I think this season is the season in his second year. I think it's going to fast track a little bit more, and I think we're going to see more of that as the season gets going here. I really do. I think Christian Wilkins, there's something about him that says to me he can be special for this team. And so I like the fact that he was willing to F with Cam Newton, even in the loss and all that. I think he wanted to kind of remind him that, we're not going anywhere, bro. Yeah, you got the best of us today. We'll be back the next time around. And you got to remember, the Dolphins answered the bell the second time around against the Patriots. And it cost the Patriots big time. Okay? It cost them the bye week. Don't be surprised the next time the Dolphins beat them, it might end up costing them even a 500 season. Okay? Because I still don't believe the Patriots are anything special. Miami made every mistake in the book and still cut it to 3. Miami got screwed on multiple calls and still cut it to 3. Okay? So with all the screw-ups, with not being able to figure out the run, everything that went on, Miami still had a shot in that game. And so that tells me that if Miami plays their best, they win that game. They played their worst and still cut it to 3. I don't think there'll be 3 interceptions in the next game. So that's why I'm not here to overreact about anything that went on yesterday. Okay? In fact, I'm going to say I'm pretty happy about yesterday. It sucked that they lost, but I'm not, considering it's game 1 of year 2 in a complete rebuild, and they made all those mistakes and still were in the mix. I'm good. I'm not going to complain about it. So I like what happened yesterday with Cam and Christian Wilkins. I think it's going to lead to some good stuff down the line where Christian's going to be one hell of a player when it's all said and done. 786-322-1105. Julius 305 says, watch the Inter-Miami complete game for the first time. Good effort. Yeah. It was a frustrating game, man. It was just a frustrating game, and hopefully they can bounce back this Saturday against Atlanta. They're 2-2-2 right now in their last 6 games, so a lot better than going 0-5 in your first 5. But this was one of those games that was winnable against Orlando, and they made a couple mistakes, and it ended up burning them, unfortunately. But I'm with you. I think it's one of those where, expansion, baby. You got to live and learn here, and we'll see if they can get it done next time.
Regarding Cam,
yes.
Yesterday, seeing him all Mr. Smug with his hat and all that crap and Mr. Cool, I think back to his Super Bowl, when he acted the clown, just, couldn't face the music. I can't wait to see that moment when he's shut up again. Because just that smug little attitude he had yesterday, it just really kind of rubbed me wrong, considering the way he carried on that post-Super Bowl interview. I keep thinking back to that moment.
You weren't here, but I said in the last segment there while you were gone that last year they cost them the bye week by beating them in Week 17. So they lost this game. Miami will adjust and be careful that the next time they play them, it might cost them going 500. Because I don't even think they're going to make it to the playoffs. I'm just not buying any of that.
You don't buy 15 rushes for 75 and 15 of 19 for 155.
No, I'm not buying it.
2 running touchdowns.
I'm not buying it. I think Cam keeps running 15 times a game. Just like Lamar Jackson, you're going to end up only in one place, the IR. That's kind of what I think. Eric says, Big O, I thought Fitz's arm is weaker than last year. Other than that, we showed major improvement from last year. Can't wait to see our O-line with time together. D-line needs to improve. Yeah, I'm not going to blame anything on arm strength, bro. Joe Montana didn't even have an arm. And he was amazing. It's about anticipation and ball placement. And 2 of his 3 interceptions, like I said earlier, Preston Williams fell on the first one, and it got intercepted. And the third one, Gesicki was being held in the end zone, and that should have been first down at the 1-yard line for the Dolphins. So I can't blame him for 2 of the 3 interceptions. I'm Now, he is older, so if he lost a little arm strength, that you might be right, but that's not enough for him not to be, effective. He's got more than enough arm strength to be effective. You know? Wilkins played a pretty good game yesterday. That's what the swerve says. Any word on Devontae Parker's injury? No, sir. They're not going to give us anything. You know, it'll be, we'll see him this week. We'll give him treatment. We'll find out. They're not going to tell the Bills a damn thing, bro. Telling us is telling the Bills. Remember that. So they'll just say, we're working on it. We're going to get him treatment. And he may not even play this week. But they'll take it right up to game time, probably. You know?
With this Hamio, you shut him down, right?
Yes.
This is an ongoing, man, shut him down,
It
please.
sucks because Buffalo's defense is a bitch, and you need that guy against Buffalo's defense. But if you want him for the whole season and not lose him for the whole season, you got to put him on ice.
This will drag out and be in every week.
Yeah, you got to put him on ice.
Carousel door.
Yes, you got to put him on ice. I read the rookie Raekwon Davis snatched one of Cam's chains. Well, he tried. But first it was Wilkins. Wilkins is the guy that's seen on the video. I saw the video. It's Wilkins. Raekwon is next to him, but it looked like Wilkins was the one that reached over. And Raekwon's got a little edge to him, too. I like it. I like that they're adding those three, and those with Godchow, they got some guys that got a nasty streak down there on the D-line. I like it. They went from Brady to this clown show. Newton looked so stupid when he spoke after the game. Pat in Asheville says, Bill, you'll get to see it next week. They play at Seattle. There you go. I need to see Greer make some moves before this week's trading deadline. The first move being trading that broken-ass Devontae. And what are you going to get for Devontae? It's not like you can trade Devontae, and you're not going to trade Devontae now when that's your best receiver, and it makes a huge difference in your offense. Like I said earlier, when you have Devontae on the field, he's the only one that can command a double team. Everybody else is single coverage. So if you need somebody to keep the safety busy or at least, worried about him, it's Devontae. The free safety's not going to be worried about anybody else, so it's really important to keep Devontae, not only keep him, but get him healthy and get him back on the field. And it's only one game. I'm not going to overreact again on one game. I don't want to trade the guy, cut nobody. I don't want to fire anybody. I'm not going to say the team sucks. I'm not doing any of that. Okay? All right? Best part of the game was Cam's chain got ripped off. Oh, I love it. I love it. I don't think, by the way, I don't think it ended up getting ripped off. Okay? They tried to rip it. He still had his two chains on. Okay? All right, 786-322-1105. Brady throws 2 interceptions in his game against the Saints. 34-23, Saints win. Breeze, by the way, was not anything special. 18 of 30, 160 yards and 2 touchdowns. But he didn't throw interceptions, which is what Brady did in that game. 2 brutal interceptions by Brady also. I would not overreact on that one, okay? Again, they've got way too many weapons on offense. They've got to be better, and you got to give them time. I'm not wishing that on Brady. I'm not saying I hope he has a great year and tears it up. I'm not rooting for Brady or the Bucs, but I'm just saying I think they'll get better as the season goes on, and Brady will get acclimated to everything going on. Cards beat the Niners 24-20. Garoppolo, 2 touchdowns, 259 yards, 19 of 33. Kyler Murray, 26 of 40. Kid threw for 230 yards, a touchdown, an interception. He rushed 13 times for 91 yards and another touchdown. And it's one of those things where this kid, if you watch him, there's no doubt he can play the game. And I still worry about his size. I don't worry about him throwing because I was impressed with him at Oklahoma, and I was impressed with his accuracy. I was impressed that he would make a lot of plays from the pocket. not only running around, because obviously he can make plenty of plays running around. He is a terror when he's got to run around to try to catch that dude. But what I like about the kid is he is accurate. And he's a guy that understands not just running around to make a play, he also understands shifting to just buy himself that extra half a second or second to make a play. His numbers are never gaudy. Like 22 of 36, 239 yards. I'm sorry. Let me do this again. 26 of 40, 230 yards is not these incredible numbers. A touchdown, an interception. Obviously, the running is as special as it gets because the kid's a water bug. I mean, you watch him, it's like it's like watching what's the name of that the thing that's kind of blue and it rotates, that video game. He has like a hair back and it's like
Sonic Hedgehog.
It's like he's like a Sonic Hedgehog. He's the human hedgehog. He is. If you watch Kyler Murray, that's a hedgehog. If
You know what?
Seen
You know
one.
what? He looks like he's just floating.
Yeah, he's just like
the way he ran and got to the corner of the end zone and he looks like he's just floating on air.
Those legs are just going round and round so fast that it's a circle.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's just
Roadrunner-like.
He is the human hedgehog. He's amazing in that sense. But where I give this kid a lot more hope as a passer than Ryan, than Lamar, than Cam Newton, than Josh Allen, his accuracy. Okay? This kid can throw the football. I do worry about his size. That's what I've worried about since the second he got drafted. Now, he has done a phenomenal job of avoiding hits like Russell does. If he can continue in that direction, then he might be all right. But, man, I got to see it.
I love when he runs that he's still looking to throw.
Yeah, he's a passer. He's a passer,
and
bro.
he can throw them all.
He's an
He's
athlete,
got that
but
touch. He could zing it.
He's a passer. He's a passer. He's like Russell Wilson, in other words, where he's not like Lamar and he's not like Cam and he's not like Ryan, that they all have to rely on the run. And Ryan, it's not that he's relying on his legs for the run. He's relying on somebody else's legs for the run. Cam and Lamar have to run in order to be effective, somewhat effective, as a passer.
You know who hated watching that game yesterday?
Who?
Deshaun Watson.
Oh, yeah.
Watching Hopkins have his biggest, most catches in a
Hopkins,
single
14
game.
for 151. No touchdowns, which
hey,
was amazing.
That would be my fantasy receiver. Love what he did.
And Kittle got injured too, man. Terrible throw.
Gonna hurt San Fran.
Yeah,
that guy.
I mean, Kittle's
yeah,
special, dude.
He's an animal.
As special as it gets. Russell Wilson yesterday, 31 of 35, 322 yards, 4 touchdowns, and a 38-25 win against the Falcons. Matt Ryan threw for 450 yards. They had like 3 receivers that just had big-time yardage. It was crazy, man. And he only threw 2 touchdowns and 450 yards and an interception. You would think he would throw for maybe 4 touchdowns at 450 yards, man.
You know what's crazy? Most of the time when these guys go over the 400-yard mark, they lose. You notice that?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Well, Gurley only had 56 yards on 14 carries. Okay? And I know that's right at 4 yards a carry pretty much. But still, man, to me, I watch Gurley, and he's never going to recapture that magic. And if they're going to go deep anywhere, they're going to need a running game that's a threat. And I just don't see Todd Gurley as that threat anymore. And that's the one thing that they better get going in their running game. Tremolio was talking about like he wants to see Chris Greer do something before the trade deadline. I don't know about the trade deadline, but the Falcons got to do something about their running game because they need a guy that they can really, really count on. Okay? Let's see. Kenneth Cleveland chimes in with is this another super chat? Am I reading it right? Is this your 4th one now? Wow, Kenneth. It says, Big O, Holly, and Selma said Cam looked like buckwheat with those bad deeds. He's got, that hair is kind of bad. Kind of a goofball look. Yeah.
He has that hair as an excuse to wear that hat. That's what it is.
Damn, bro. He's got some. It's a funky haircut, man. What can I tell you? I'm with you. Let's see. Romanian women got that look. What the F are we talking about here? Drew Boo. I'm not sure what. Why are you guys talking about Romanian women? What's up with Romanian women conversation here? Drew Boo sends in, fist bumps. He sends in a little super chat. Drew Boo, you trying to give Julius 305 and Kenneth Cleveland some competition there? That's your third one today, bro. You the man. Thank you, sir. Jack Gonzalez says, so compare Prescott and Wilson's numbers from yesterday. That is why Russell Wilson is worth the money. Oh, yeah. I mean, hey, look, Dak Prescott is a good quarterback. He's done a really good job since he's been in the league. Russell Wilson is a Hall of Famer. That's the difference. Like, Dak Prescott is trying to get to the point where he can be considered an all-pro. Maybe one day, I don't even know if he's going to be a Hall of Famer. Russell Wilson is a first ballot Hall of Famer. He's not just a Hall of Famer. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. Okay? Russell Wilson is, and it's funny because I still remember the people that were not Russell Wilson believers. Not that we'll ever hear from you again, because I know you're never going to chime in and say that, Russell Wilson is going to suck. And even when he was in his first couple of years, I would argue with people about him, and I wonder where those people are at. Like, what happened? Where are you? All of you that said that Russell Wilson can't do it, you know? And it's amazing. He has not just turned himself into a starting quarterback. He's not just turned himself into a Pro Bowler. He's not just turned himself into an all-pro guy. He's not just turned himself into a Hall of Fame guy. He's already becoming a first ballot Hall of Fame guy. You can't do the things he does every week and not look at him like he is a first ballot Hall of Famer. That guy puts on a show every week, man. Every week he's doing something that you just like, wow.
You know what I want him to win an MVP. I was so glad yesterday when I saw right out the blocks, because you remember last year through 5 or 6 games, he had the best completion percentage and all that. 31 of 35 yesterday.
Sick.
Like, this guy deserves an MVP, correct?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. And many years he's played without great receivers. Many years he's played with mediocre lines at times, running for his life, and still making plays. He's sick, man. He's sick. If Kyler Murray was a little bigger, I tell you, that's Russell Wilson right there. He's got all the Russell Wilson goods. The only thing I worry about Kyler Murray is that he's smaller than him. I will say Kyler Murray, at least he's small, but he's got a little compact to him, you know, but still I worry about him. He's so small, you know. What happened to Michael Thomas? You talking about the receiver? Yeah, I think he injured his ankle yesterday. I want to say his left ankle. Yeah. I don't know how serious it was, but it was towards the end of the game, if I'm correct. So it wasn't early in the game. I think it was towards the end of the game, in the second half. So, yeah. So the veteran 60-year-old is out. I don't know what that means, Julius 305. Remember, Wilson played baseball. And what does that mean? What does that have to do with it? You can play baseball and not be good at football. That's a possibility. You know what I mean? Doesn't mean anything. Obviously, he's a great athlete. But playing two sports doesn't assure you of anything. There's plenty of guys that played two sports that didn't excel in some of the other sports. You know what I mean? So that's not something that is that important, as they say. Conor McGregor is in trouble. Did you hear about that? He is now being detained for attempted sexual assault. He denies the allegations. McGregor's manager, Adi Attar, issued a statement to MMA Fighting saying, I am irate and putting out a warning loud and clear. Conor McGregor is not and will not be a target for those seeking to score a headline or a payday. Conor's legal reps in Corsica, Emmanuel Ramon, told the AFP no charges have been filed against the USC star. Ramon also ripped a complaint against McGregor, called it abusive. A rep for McGregor tells TMZ Conor McGregor vigorously denies any accusations or misconduct. He has been interviewed and released. McGregor was taken into police custody and questioned in Corsica on Saturday over an allegation of attempted sexual assault. The UFC superstar, has been sailing around the Mediterranean on his yacht recently with his fiancée, Dee Devlin, but McGregor allegedly flew off the handle on Thursday. A court official in Corsica sent a statement to the agency of France Press confirming that police had taken Conor into custody following a complaint filed on September 10th denouncing acts that could be described as attempted sexual assault and sexual exhibition. Mr. Conor, Anthony McGregor, was the subject of a hearing by the services, prosecutor said. Another report out of France said the alleged incident took place at a bar. Conor was teasing a UFC comeback, saying he'd let the UFC drug testing agents on his yacht to take a sample. McGregor proposed to longtime girlfriend Dee Devlin just last month and even spotted on a photo shoot with her this week. Conor and Devlin have 2 kids. Conor has a long history with the law, arrested and prosecuted for throwing a steel dolly through a UFC bus window a few years ago. He was arrested for felony robbery for taking a man's cell phone at a Miami hotel. And don't forget the time he punched an elderly man in the face for no reason at a pub in Ireland in 2019. So we know Conor McGregor can be a king-size asshole. The question is he also a king-size criminal? We will find out, right? Usually bars nowadays have cameras. So I would imagine that there's going to be a camera of this incident that occurred or didn't occur. Not exactly sure. We shall see. It's hard to root for the guy, isn't it? That's the biggest thing about what's it called? Conor McGregor, is that it's a guy that you cannot root for. I mean, at least I think most decent people. You know what I mean? 'Cause it's hard to like this guy. It just is. When he's in the UFC and talking crap like Muhammad Ali and not committing crimes like Muhammad Ali, then we're all right. But if you're talking crap and doing all that and you're committing crimes and you're doing stupid, disgusting things like punching an old man at a bar, there's no way you can root for a guy like Conor McGregor. It's just hard, man. It really is. What do we have here? Breaking U.S. bans cotton, hair products, computer components, and some textiles from China's Zhejiang province over forced labor issues. Okay. All righty. So are they saying that they run those, what's it called? Sweat houses, sweat boxes, what is it? Sweat factories, sweatshops. Is that what it's called? Okay.
That was where supposedly Ivanka Trunk's clothes were being made.
Oh, okay. The Trunkster?
Martha Stewart, everybody, man. All of them have used that slave labor.
Probably. Joe Brito says, Big O Davin Godchaux was terrible. Also, rookie tackle. Okay. All right. So Davin Godchaux was terrible. How about everybody on defense was terrible, bro? They got run over yesterday. Okay. Sean Payton was trying to run up the score, and Michael Thomas got injured. Peyton is a major D.
You know what? Talking about that, how do you feel about it, though? Because one of the tiebreakers for the division or whatever is head-to-head difference in score. You know what I mean? And I'm sitting there, and it was kind of like, this is a hard situation to be in because you're running up the score and this, and like somebody could get hurt, but at the end of the day, it's one of the tiebreakers. Head-to-head, the difference in score. And I mean, you know, you want to put as many points as you can against the team that you expect to be number 2 to you. You know, it's going to be in a race for that division.
Right.
Does that make sense to you? How do you feel about that?
No, it doesn't make sense. Right? Is that what you would think?
I want to win the division. And if one of them is tiebreakers, man, and I got a chance to put up another 7 and put it to 18 instead of just 11, I'm gonna try to score another touchdown.
Yes.
I want the division because think about it. That could be the difference between being number 1 or number 2, and that's huge. That's you getting a bye week and getting home field, especially for New Orleans. You know, it's not a bad thing to do.
Right. By the way, Raekwon McMillan had 1 tackle and six snaps for the Raiders yesterday. Wow. So Raekwon McMillan was such an impact player. 1 tackle, 6 snaps. Taco Charlton, Charles Harris, both inactive week 1 for KC and Atlanta. Okay. All right. 1 tackle. And some of you out there are talking about Raekwon McMillan. 1 tackle.
Sounds like that guy would have had major impact yesterday.
Yep. And how about Nick Needham not playing a single snap yesterday? Noah played 37. Jamal Perry 31 and Xavier Howard 27. Needham not 1. Okay? And remember, he was a guy that people were inquiring about trade-wise. Are they saving him for a trade? I'm just saying.
You would, right? If you know, if you throw this guy to the scrap heap and people are going to grab him, if he's a commodity, don't just put him out there, man. Stash him and get something for him, right?
Yeah. Yeah. All right, 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the text line. That's 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the text line. You can also reach out to us on Twitter. That's at Big O Show. Follow us there as always. Let's see. The O-line played decent considering there were 2 rookies playing on the line. I agree. I thought they did good. Robert Ritchie says, Big O, please explain that we are rebuilding and heading in the right direction. Robert, we already did that. It's in the first hour. You can go back and check it all out. Let's see. The old man did win that fight, though. He did. Oh, because of the money, maybe? Because he probably sued him or something? Is that what you're saying? Russell wins in football and in life. Oh, Ciara? Yeah. Yeah. I would say so. Did you see the picture they tweeted out yesterday? So Russell is playing. Ciara is with the baby. And so, wait a minute, let me get it for you here. So Ciara's with the baby while Russell is playing. Oh, I didn't get it. I thought I took the ball. I missed out on it. Damn it. I guess I screen saved too late. I apologize. I thought I had it. What a shame. Oh well. I thought I had it, folks. My bad. But anyway, they tweeted out a picture of the kid in a Russell Wilson Seattle jersey and all that, and it was just a really cute picture overall. I thought that was cool. Did you see Paul Gasol, what he did? Speaking of babies and newborns, he and his wife just had a newborn daughter. And so Paul Gasol paid perhaps the greatest tribute to his late friend Kobe Bryant and daughter Gianna Bryant by bestowing her name onto his own flesh and blood. The former Laker announced the birth of he and his wife's first child, a girl that they've named Gigi. And he also made sure to reference what Kobe has become known in the wake of his death, an awesome girl dad. Paul broke the news both in Spanish and English, writing, "Our little one has finally arrived. The delivery went really well. We couldn't be happier with Elizabeth Gianna Gasol." How cool is that? So Kobe looking above, that his buddy is doing the right thing, man. That's pretty cool. That is very cool, actually. How long have we been going on this segment now?
This one's nothing, man.
What's this?
33 minutes.
All right, so let's break now. We'll come back because it's supposed to be every 30 minutes. I should break at least every 30.
No, it's supposed to be every 12 minutes or 11 minutes.
Well, that's radio, yeah. That's radio. You only got to talk like 8, 10, 12 minutes in a segment.
You just did 3 segments consecutively without a commercial, basically.
Oh, man. What are you going to do, brother? All right, let's do this. Get your questions ready. Send them in. You got some questions on the YouTube chat board. We will answer your questions when we come back. Got to mention a couple of things here that I've got, and then we'll get to wrapping it up here on the show. But any questions you got? Dolphins, Heat, Canes, Marlins, you name it. Answer it. NFL, whatever you want to ask, personally, radio, life. You need some help with your sex life. I don't know, man. Whatever is on your cranium, okay? Unload. Get it on the chat board right now. Send it in on the what's it called? Text page 786-322-1105. Twitter, Big O Show. We'll be back we'll come back for the final segment of the program right here on the Big O Show.
It's a buyer's market at Toyota of Hollywood. Over 1,500 Toyotas on the ground, and truckloads just keep on coming. Now pay up to 50% less. 2020 Camry, not $29,000, $17,775. 2020 Corolla, not $22,000, $13,775. Buy a new 2020 Toyota with 0 down and 0% financing, or we'll make your payments till 2021. At Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com, a travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
America's premium sports sedan is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. TLX, $259 a month, $259 at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer. America's
All right, we're back. Manny J. Snow says 4.5 yards per rush allowed first half, 5.2 in the second. Not ready to play defense yesterday. Irritating. Yes. Manny, they were bad yesterday, my brother. There's no way of going around it or whatever, but they weren't worse than they were last year when they got routed 102-10 in the first two games. You know what I mean? And they lost to the Patriots 43-0. So this is a team that lost by 10, cut it to 3 late in the game, and played a terrible game. So that, to me, that I don't think it's a good look for the Patriots. That the Dolphins played a shitty game and cut it to 3. If I'm Belichick, quietly, behind the scenes, I'm a little concerned about my team. You know, I just think people I don't think they look at the big picture and they just see the win and that Cam had a couple runs, but I don't think they look at what long-term effects are if you keep running 15 times a game.
Realistically, you can't sustain this game plan.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to. And then you went up against a team that at the moment is young as hell, a monster amount of turnover, and yet they made all these mistakes and they had a shot at you still. I don't think that the Patriots should feel that great about themselves. And I think the Dolphins, I put it this way, Flores has a lot less to fix right now after week 1 than he did last year. That's the way I look at it. Okay? I've seen way too many weird comebacks. I would run up the score every single time. Yeah, you're right. You should, Tremolio. I agree with that. Ryan Fitzpatrick for rookie QB Tua on week 2. Fitzpatrick will start against the Bills. Yes, he will start. Coach already said it. I mean, that's not a big deal. He's talking today to the media. What did you think of Brandon Jones, the rookie safety from Texas? He got a lot of reps yesterday. Yeah, and he played well. Played well. Kid cleaned up a lot of stuff that the D-line could not. Okay, put it that way.
I got to ask one.
What?
McCarthy's decision last night to not take the 3 and tie the score and get greedy at the end of the game, in the last quarter.
I guess no cojones.
No, but I mean, he goes for it on 4th. You kick the field goal and you tie the game, right? 2020?
Yeah.
That was – I didn't understand that play call there.
Uber Beaner says, Big O, why do you think Matt Breida hardly played yesterday? They like Gaskins, bro. Gaskins had a good camp. They had him here since last year. Let me explain something also to you guys. I think we talked about this. It might have been last week. You have a coach that doesn't give a crap where you came from. If you're a free agent, if you're a first rounder, if you're a 7th rounder, if you're a street free agent, if you're undrafted, if you came out of Canada, if they signed you out of Indonesia, he doesn't give a rat's ass. The guy that's playing the best is going to play. So Myles Gaskins must have outplayed Matt Breida. And then he goes in the game and he's averaging over 4 yards a carry. What are you going to do? Take out a guy that averages over 4 yards a carry? That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. So they kept him in there. And like I said earlier, that's nothing but a positive when you have more than one back to count on. Okay, you could go listen to that segment because I talked about it. It's probably already up because it was early in the game or early in the show in this case. I think if the Dolphins' offensive line holds up against the Bills, they will be ready to protect Tua. Okay. You don't Flo's Monday's presser? We'll do it tomorrow. We'll do Flo's Monday's presser tomorrow. Okay. Josh, hey, Josh, Ryan Fitzpatrick sucks ass as a quarterback, sir. Okay. Myron says, next, the Jets go Niners. That's going to be fun. I hope your D-line gets like 800 sacks and frustrates the crap out of them. Lewis Bryan, any predictions for Heat Celtics series? Let's go Heat. I'm going Heat in 7. Okay? Heat in 7. All right? Gus 1388, the question was asked, and Flo is sticking with Fitz. Yeah, well, they had to ask the question. So don't kill the reporters for asking. Hey, it's better they're asking about that than talking about the anthem and all that other crap, okay? So let's, I like when the football press conference is about football. That I enjoy. Not about, hey, are you going to kneel or are you going to stand? Are you guys holding hands? Are you guys locking arms? Are you in the locker room? Are you out of the locker room? Are you for it or are you against it?
Did you know the players were making that video?
Yes. Oh, did you write the script for that video, Flo? Did you direct it also and produced it? Yeah. No, I'm good with football questions. Big O, I was hoping you would do a pregame yesterday. QM is horrific. Well, when you spend no money, that's just the way it goes. Let's see. QAM broadcasts sound like high school radio. Well, dude, it's what's it called? It's intercom. They're a cheap outfit. They're not spending to have quality people all over the place. It's just the way it is. Speaking of bad calls, how about Carolina going with a fullback dive on 4th and inches on their final drive when they needed a touchdown to win? Well, that's what happens when you don't have the non-explosive Teddy Bridgewater. That's the problem. You notice his stats yesterday? Let me see. What was it? I wrote them down. Bridgewater threw for 270 yards, completed 22 of 34, and only threw for 1 touchdown. He's a dink and dunker, bro. You know? Teddy's not the guy that can put a team on his back. Teddy's not the guy that's going to light up the scoreboard. The best thing Teddy can do is facilitate and get the ball to the playmakers. And that's it. And it's up to them, but he will not be the difference maker. Okay? The good Lord above did not bless Teddy Bridgewater with that talent. He blessed him with the brains. He blessed him with great attitude. He's a phenomenal young man, but he's an okay athlete. There's nothing special about Teddy Bridgewater. Not his legs, not his arm, nothing. Okay? And that's really the problem with Teddy Bridgewater. And that's what will happen to you when you have him on your team. You know, he's solid. He can keep you afloat, but he's not the guy to win you games. If everybody else is not winning you the games, Teddy is not going to actually bail you out. It's not his game. Okay? Let's see. Sam Bell says, hey, Pat in Asheville, leave me alone, sir. Go bug someone else in the chat. It's getting testy there. It's like Wilkins and Cam and a chain in the middle. Julius305 says, happy 31st birthday to Jimmy Buckets. Josh says, you so funny, Big O. I don't know. What did I say that was funny? Did I say something funny? Super Boom Shack says, Cephalo was screwing up names again as usual. As somebody was saying that there was like too much noise in the background and it was like drowning out the calls for the QAM broadcast or something. I didn't listen to it. But I said, well, that's a good thing, actually. I hope they have amplifiers from Spinal Tap that go all the way to 11 so they can drown out Jimmy Syphilis. Because, I mean, seriously, that's actually a positive. If you turn on the Dolphin broadcast and there's just blaring noise over the play-by-play guy, I think that would be a monster positive for Dolphin fans. Oh, hell yeah. Myron chimes in with another super chat. He says, you think the Clippers are going to win it? If they don't, what's your opinion? Oh, after leading both games they lost. I think the Clippers win tomorrow. I do. Barely, but I think they win. I'm taking the Nuggets +7. There's no doubt in my mind about that. I've won pretty much. I think I've only lost 1 game in this series. Okay? So, yes, I think we should have Clippers-Lakers when it's all said and done. Let's see. Matthew says, Big O radio show, but they managed to 30 points in Teddy's defense. In Teddy's defense, I just would have liked to Matt Rule take a shot there. But maybe he didn't have a faith in Teddy to make that shot. That's my point, my man. I love my Fins and love my Heat. Suck it, Jets. That's Drubo with another super chat. Drew Boo with 4 super chats today. You are amazing, Drew Boo. Thank you, my brother.
You know, you could have got a shot in on the Knicks, but they're so low.
Oh, yeah.
You're swinging at air.
Yeah, no, it's like the sewage is already there, and there's a lot of crap there. Why are we going to, how do we stoop below the sewer?
Don't dirty your new shoes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no. We're not doing that. We're not doing that at all. But we are going to tell you this. We're going to wrap it up here on the program. We thank you all out there, as always, for tuning in. Appreciate you. Appreciate you all for keeping it locked here on the program, sending us the super chats. As always, you guys are amazing. Everybody on the YouTube chat board, the texts, all of that, Twitter, downloading the show. Appreciate all of you out there for always keeping it locked here on the program. We thank Bill and Philippe getting it done on the audio and video side of the show. We'll have some guests tomorrow. It'll be a Tolentino Tuesday. Josh Tolentino is going to join us from the Athletic, so we'll have a little fun with that. And by the way, have you seen the Athletic? You can subscribe for $1 a month. So they allow you to subscribe for a year for $12. And you have access to everything, local, national, everything. All the stories and articles and breaking news and all that. It's actually, I don't think you can get a better deal than that, to be honest with you. That's pretty cool for $1 a month, and you support some journalism in which we actually need it. You know what I'm saying? That's why if you can, support the Herald Sports people, support the Sun Sentinel Sports people, our Palm Beach Post Sports. Those folks need your help, man. You know what I mean? All the writers need your help, to be honest with you. But since it is a sports show, I just want to, talk on behalf. Whether you like some or dislike some, agree with some, disagree with some, whatever, they're all pretty good people, man, overall. So, support them if you can, because, man, you don't want to get to a point where it's all, propaganda-led type stuff from the teams. That's not going to help you. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like when you had the Finsiders, you weren't going to really get the honest word about the Fins, that kind of stuff. Anyway, appreciate all of you out there as always. Thank you for tuning in. We will see you tomorrow, same time, same place, same bat channel. Y'all be good out there. Let's thank the super chatters before we go.
I was wondering, man, you're messing up here a little bit, bro.
Myron, Kenneth Cleveland, Finn 9113, Drew Boo, Donald Peterson, Alex Diaz, Julius 305, Josh, Steve M, Dirty Mike Dominguez, all of you out there, super chatting.
We want information. Who are you?
I'm a go-getter.
Who are you?
Dumbass material all the way.
I am not.
Dumbass.
I am
super chat. Thank you all out there for, as always, supporting us, listening, downloading any time of the day or night. Remember, you can reach out to us on the text line anytime you want, 786-322-1105, and on Twitter at Big O Show. Make sure you like the page, subscribe to our page, share the link with folks, the YouTube page, so people know about it. We will see you tomorrow. Plenty of Dolphins talk, plenty of Heat talk tomorrow as we get you ready for the Heat and the Celtics. We'll talk about the Monday night games tonight. Maybe we'll talk about Ryan Tannehill throwing for 450 yards and 5 touchdowns.
You're funny, man.
Hey, man, you never know. Anything could happen.
You're hilarious. You really think that?
He's an athlete.
Hey,
he could be on tonight.
450 yards, in 4 games combined, okay?
He does win his playoff games by throwing 77 yards. So, yeah, you might be right. Y'all be good out there. Much love. Be safe, all right? Take it easy.
Till tomorrow. Enjoy the games tonight.